here, I guess I can show you what I'm looking at while I'm saying it too. Check it out. Let's see how my screen shares here, by the way. Oh yeah, look at that. Wide monitor share.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, like the first one I see is like BMPB MC. So if I do BMC,
Jello.
What's up? Let's see. That looks like BMC has about 4,000 wax of like liquidity to actually exit out into wax, which isn't terrible actually. Let's see what's BMP. 1,000 wax on.
Looks like BMC some token. Fuck, I don't know what it's for. Does it say like underneath what the token name is?
Box Maze coins.
Box Maze coins, I guess.
Yeah.
Box Maze thing.
I'm not sure, but let's see. Let's go to the next. LTK and wax. Okay, so this one already has its counterpart in wax. Not bad. That one's probably.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is our planet. Like I'm
Oh yeah, let's see.
I think I have 24 hours before people can attack me. Although I got so deep in the upgrading the buildings, I kind of fell behind. I didn't know the cooldown on the building robots was so long.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Let's see how my robots are doing. I finally hit one of my Caponium mines is now level 10, so I can finally build a Caponium factory, which boosts my Caponium mining by 5%, which is not that much compared to my land boosting it 60%.
So I don't understand what the droids mean. Like, what are the droids like? Do they defend you or?
I think so. Like, are you talking about like when you check your own base and you have like total number of droids? Yeah, I think that's like your base's like score or something. Like, let's see. I'm ranked 294 right now. That's not bad. I think you have to be in the top 100 if you want to win a. Yeah. What is BMC? I don't know, man. Help me know if you know what BMC is. Oh, by the way, I got my full set of uncommons. The trades went through last night, so I got a full set of Beast and Butcher episode 2 in uncommon rarity. So that airdrop is today, or I'm sorry, the snapshot is today. I think the airdrop is tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with our. I mean, like, it can't erase all my bad blood.
Yeah.
There. The game itself is pretty fun. Now, the piece that I'm always leery on, as just a naturally pessimistic person, is like, okay, here's this fun game. Do I trust the team to continue to develop this game, or am I going to get sucked into this game and then they're going to pivot into something weird like they've done 3 times before this? So yeah. I'm like very cautious that I like the game because now I have something to lose again. I finally exited my Ether position and I felt like this huge weight off my shoulders that I didn't feel tied to our plan anymore, and I could have like a clear view. But now that I enjoy the game, I'm like, they could rug me again on this, or play with my emotions. But
now that I'm back in,
I know it's like I had nothing to lose before, so zero expectations. But anyway, for what it's worth, the game is pretty interesting. It's a pretty fun mobile game. I haven't really played a lot of those Clash of Clans style mobile games and stuff, but reminds me a lot of StarCraft, which hits some nostalgia points for me. So
yeah, the FOMO is real, dude. I gotta say.
Yeah,
I like see the game. I'm like, damn, it's actually like pretty well put together, and like, it's like, I'm glad I still have my lands. So
yeah, and there's like a cool active like alliance building in the R plan, so the community's kind of got some life support back because it was just completely dead for a while. No one gave a fuck about inventing, and everyone just it was just like a total echo chamber in our planet Discord. So now there's actually something to talk about. I'm actually literally right next to Lewis, which is kind of
fun. I know. I saw. Here's my base.
I just ran. I went to you pick a quadrant, right? And Max told me to go northeast, so I just picked northeast, and then it randomly generated me literally directly next to Lewis, so it works out pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, the minerals have a value here. Like all your upgrades and things are being built with the land minerals, so those finally have a use. The The Aether piece, I'm not sure. I don't see anything in the current app.
Although you can't bring your land minerals from chain into the game, can you?
You deposit them, similar to like what Blockchain Brawlers does with Gold and Brawl, is you deposit it into a game wallet. So you
it's
can
like a one-way
and trade it, or you can put it, but I'm pretty sure it's one way, where once it's in the game, it can't pull out of the game. Same thing with the lands. Once the lands are in game, I don't think you can pull them out. So you can.
I think you can pull out the lands.
You can.
Yeah, there's like a unstake section, like removed from like for the lands.
Okay, so you can produce in-game minerals, or you can produce them on chain. But I don't think you can withdraw the minerals. But
I'm gonna share my screen and look at the interface for our planet.
With the Aether stuff, I'm curious, because there was supposed to be some sort of use case. I guess I know you use Aether to upgrade the lands, which then upgrades the mineral production, but I want to say there's another in-game marketplace that uses that for things, but I've been out of the loop on a lot of stuff lately.
Let's see. So here's my account Neon Max, and then I can say sign in also with my wallet at the same time. Let me do this.
So you register on the website to then link it in game, huh?
Yeah, so the way I registered was like when I was asked about like the beta key, like what is my wallet, and so when I got the beta key, it was linked to this wallet, I suppose. But that's what I thought initially, but I don't think what actually happens, because now you could sign in once you make your account with your link it with like your like I did with Google. Now I can sign into my account with Google, which brings up my in-game name as Neon Max, and then I can come up here with any wallet, sign in, see my inventory of like lands and robots and stuff, and then I can say, deposit this land into the game by just clicking deposit. And then once it's in the game, it shows up over here, and you can withdraw them back out as well. These packs you can withdraw as long as you haven't used them. If you use them, it adds 100 robots of each of these to your army, and it burns the pack, and it's a one-way usable. But the lands is like you can withdraw and keep rotating them and all that. But I think they stopped printing land minerals. Like you can no longer claim passive land minerals from these now that the game is live.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
different,
because I thought you could keep mining them on chain.
Yeah, because if I go to nf.tools and go to claim, let me check. Not this.
Lewis is gonna roll in a little late. He wasn't feeling well, so we're gonna do the tech talk first, and then when Lou rolls in late, we can do some Marvel since the season ends. What is it, Friday?
Yeah. I guess I have a few left to claim here. Let me claim those. Oh yeah, here. So it'll just fail when you try to claim your lands now. Like there's no more claiming land minerals. It's like ended. So if you've been holding on to your lands and never claimed the minerals, it seems like you might just be boned.
God damn it. Classic R plan. So fucking annoying. God damn it.
Yeah.
Just when I was giving them some props, and just like, you motherfucker.
It seems like I'm just boned. Like here, I get 10,000 Ether.
Force you to have to like hang on their every word. It's so fucking annoying because it's just like,
I have 100,000 something. If I say
people have the time to like eat, sleep, and breathe NFT stuff all the fucking time.
Yeah, that would definitely irritate me if I had been up. Yeah, see, it won't let me claim land minerals even though there's a balance to claim. So I think that's just over now. So if you want to use your lands, you have to use them like this by depositing them into the game. And then once you're in the game, here, I could actually show that.
It totally failed. God, what fucking garbage. God damn it.
Yeah, right? And then when you have your land in the game, there's this building that you can add. I'm trying to do this reversed. And then this building lets you attach your land. So here I have a land, and then I could like remove the land and I could swap it for another land if I had it in my wallet. I only have the one in here right now.
But is there an exit for the minerals on chain? I mean, maybe that's something that might not be in beta, but
I think the minerals on chain, there's going to be like another round of like crafting those kind of like robot packs that you can inject into the game as in between conquests. Like when this alpha conquest ends, the concept for our planet is that like the game is like everybody's playing the game during the same conquest timeline, and then when the conquest ends, it ends for everybody, and then it starts a second, like a new conquest starts, and everybody starts from square one again. I think in between conquest rounds there is another set of like use your FT and your NFT stuff to craft and get some in-game advantages for the next conquest. At least that's how I understood it.
I see.
And I think it is still in closed beta, Eric. You have to I think they want you to like pay for some kind of like beta pass. I wouldn't. Like,
yeah, it's fun. I would wait it out. We
till
got
it's open.
even beta passes, but I wouldn't pay for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying the games, but I get frustrated by all. I don't want to support any sort of additional cash grabs that our planet does, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
They have enough money. They can figure their shit out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not interested in buying more stuff, but if I can start playing with stuff that I still have, I'm definitely not opposed to testing it out. And I am definitely enjoying it. So yeah, it's fun.
I'm going to start Stream Raiders here to go on in the background. So if people like that, like I said, we're going to start with the tech portion with the thought that Lou might jump in later and be able to do some marbles. So
yeah.
So that'll be the plan. Max wanted to talk about bridge protocols, but we can do the 100 wax investment and some market thoughts as well.
Let's do that. The bridge or the 100 wax, I might have to jump onto the other computer for, because that's where I have the keys for that. And that computer was acting weird, is why I moved to this one today. So I might have to set that to next week.
Okay, yeah, we can just punt it to next week.
And then Eric, yes, it is in closed beta. And I think kind of cool thing about it is also that like when it is not in closed beta, the Our Planet like game, like this game, is just a like phone game that you can download from like the App Store or like from the IO or whatever, like the Android store, and play for free without knowing or needing any NFTs. So the NFT side of Our Planet seems to be like to boost your free-to-play game. Like I could not own lands and not own anything and still like have built my base pretty much to the same point where it's at right now. The only thing that my owning NFTs is doing is improving my NFTerium mining output by like 60%, which is pretty significant, but still not necessary.
It is kind of pay to play in that way. At least get
pay for an advantage for sure. And like 60% boost is quite a bit, considering that I just got like to a point where I could upgrade my mining output boost, and the boost is now up to 5%. So, after like 4 or 5 days of like trying to build something up, it's, only giving me like a tenth or less than a tenth of what the land does. So the lands definitely do give you a pretty decent boost, but it is also fully free to play, and you don't need any of that stuff to actually like jump into the game. So that's kind of cool, I think, especially the side of it where like people could be playing the game without even knowing it has anything to do with NFTs.
Oh, real quick, I don't know if Mono Suerte is in the stream, but they traded me mint 1 of Mark the Narc. So
hell yeah.
It was like I had mint 25, so I had last mint and they had first mint, and they were indifferent. So they were like, "Oh, I'll send you."
Nice.
One of Mark the Narc. So shout out Mono Suerte, shout out to his family.
Nice.
Just wanted to thank him for that. So that is one. I don't typically mint chase too much either, but that is one that is pretty cool to go mint 1 for.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Let me share my screen then. And since we're starting with before Lewis gets here, just with some stuff, let's just jump right into eyeballing this market, since the last week we were looking at it. Here.
It does look pretty cool with the widescreen.
Oh yeah, and look at this scroll wheel.
Oh yeah, your janky mouse. There you go.
It's quite nice. Let me turn off some of the indicators I have.
Yes, Max is on his computer in his bedroom. So
yeah, this is my DeFi computer.
So we're giving you a different angle. He's in a different room and he's standing.
Yeah, I'm at my standing desk. I stand most of the time, as you would never know from seeing me on stream. But yeah, I'm standing.
I've even seen him walk before.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen Max run, but
it has to be pretty. Has to be pretty dire straits for that to happen.
I mean, I feel like in 15 years, I've probably seen you run at least once, but it doesn't quite come to mind. I've seen you skateboard.
That counts.
That's physical activity,
right? Let's take a look really quick here at the market. So I'm on Ethereum on the daily chart right now. Regular candles, and I have my indicators that I'm using is the B bands, which the B bands is this like blue lines. Just to kind of like quick explain what it is, it's drawing the smooth moving average here in the center. So the orange line is that smooth moving average, is basically the average of all these candles that it's drawing. And then the blue lines on the extremes are like usually 1 or 2 standard deviations away from the from the middle line, from the moving average, either plus or minus 1 or 2 standard deviations. So that's how it's drawing this. And then I'm using the Stotch RSI, which is showing me overbought, oversold, and general like market conditions. And then I like the OBV. So that's what I'm using here. Everything else is just lines I added like myself, these that I drew kind of over time. So last week we were looking at these markets and we thought they would continue to sell off, and it seems they have. These are the last week or so. We're kind of flatlining, kind of still moving down, staying definitely under the middle, the smooth moving average trend here, the middle Bollinger Band line. Again, I think we're going to continue this trend probably, but it looks like we had been oversold quite a bit. So now on the daily, we've been, cooling off on the RSI, bringing this back a little bit with not much price movement, honestly. And if I zoom in very closely, you can see how that is affecting in the on balance volume too. Really not making any type of new higher highs or anything like that. So not really a bullish or any type of sentiment to gather from this that would reverse our negative outlook on the market at the moment. What it looks like to me is like with the RSI where it is and with these prices where they are, I imagine we're going to, over the next few days, continue this trend up till we get back to kind of like overbought. And I imagine that will push the price close to the center of the B-bands line, possibly slightly above it, before continuing to sell off. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. It's probably doing exactly the same thing, only a little more aggressively down. Which, yeah, so here you can see Ethereum is kind of like started this high, definitely retapped that same like level before, whereas Bitcoin started here and it's just kind of continuing its trek down.
And that resistance line you drew, right?
Yeah, I drew these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like the red one I drew
and you're
a
just
long
kind of
time ago.
The bottom peaks over, the last looks like few months.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is like
where you're deciding where that resistance line is.
Yeah, pretty much this line becomes easy to draw once you start seeing like, once we get to like here, where it's like, okay, we fell here, we kind of found support and kept moving up and then continued to retested same support, moved up. Okay, at this point, a third test. Now we could be like, yeah, this is a pretty solid support.
Okay, I see.
And now, yeah, okay, we're moving back above it. And again, we're right around that support now. If the support fails,
confidence in that support is kind of based on how many taps and consistencies you can see. So like if you're testing that hypothesis of that support, it's tested it now 4 to 5 times.
Yeah.
Done and somewhat consistent.
It'll give me like a good confidence too when I see something like, oh, the lines, are at here at the support like range, but also not oversold, like around here, or even here where you're kind of getting a bit of a spike. This kind of, I'd be like, yeah, it's a decent time to like buy, or get ready to like look for a movement here in these market prices based on, the general concepts of like technical analysis plus, the fact that we're retesting the support again. If this holds, I might buy and expect to be able to ride this back up a little bit, possibly to, the last time we had support that failed. So here.
So how do you determine if it's going to break above or below that support line or resistance, whatever?
So when like multiple days start to close, like fully below, like even these are closing kind of like on the line. But like I would say for the last time here, we had all of this stuff closing. This is probably the only candle that closed a full day kind of below that line. And then the following day, it immediately was back above. But then here you're starting to see like, okay, closing below the line. And the next day, okay, now like we're losing support. And then it's like, I would probably have entered a short around here.
So that second day candle closing below kind of confirmed. And then you see that big sell off.
And then we're like continuing like to dump. And usually you get similar
out,
deals.
and then it kind of goes down a couple candles and then has a big dump.
Yeah, if you get lucky, you get that kind of a thing kind of often. So like here, I have to pull this up a bit to kind of like better match that. But even here, you get like, small stuff closing, and then it continues to sell off once it loses its support. Of course, it's just like, generally speaking, you can always get stuff where it's like dumps below and then immediately pushes back. And like it's called a bear trap, where it's like, it tries to confirm a bear trend. And then the bears make their move, and then the bulls push the price back up, and, liquidate the bears.
So if you zoom in on like the current candles, this is daily, right?
Yeah, this is daily. So then we can get closer by just changing the time frame. So 4 hours is here, and I'm going to toggle between 2 so it redraws. You can see what happened in the last 4 hours.
Okay, so you're seeing multiple candles close above resistance. So that's why you were saying you might go long here.
Yeah. So it gives you like a little bit of a more clear picture. But then here you can see, look at this, we're like pumping all the way up to here, which is like around the same price as it was over here, right? And over here, then I can use like my on balance volume a little bit to be like, yeah, it looks like we're actually making a lower high. You see the on balance volume peak here, despite the price being about the same as it was here, like here-ish. I'd say we're either at the same height or lower than we were here on OBV. So that's like, that wouldn't give me much confidence. If I saw this same move without, the following dump, if you saw this same move like that, but the OBV was making a new high, like it pushed much higher, then I would be much more inclined to be like, I think we might move up further from here. But you can see also here the oversold nature of like the RSI before it like has flipped on the 4 hour and is right now actively selling off, it looks like. Let's zoom in even closer. We go to the 1 hour, and then here you're starting to get even more of a like drama. That's like, again, the closer you get to this stuff, the less the rules tend to like hold water. Like here we're seeing a lot of full candles closing below the resistance, but it's also like, they're 1 hour candles, and then so here we're seeing, RSI on the 1 hour tapped kind of an oversold side. It looks like it's going to come back up on the 1 hour. And then what you could expect would be like a retest of the middle B bands line before being rejected and moving down if we're going to continue our downtrend. So using kind of like these different time frames to like, get a sense of what's happening in the time frame. And depending on how you like to trade, you might want to actually trade based on information from the 1 hour chart versus the 1 day chart, because on the 1 hour, we're definitely looking like we might be, and then here you can see too, on the 1 day, this is for Bitcoin, it's still kind of moving up. We still have lots of room to move up. We had the 1 day candle, make it a peak above with the wick above the middle B bands line. So, and since we talked about candles last time, we know the wick means that this candle started at this price right here. It's currently trading at this price, which is why the candle itself is red and the body is only this thick. But it has, since the start of the 24-hour cycle that this candle exists for, it had traded all the way up to here and all the way down to here. So that's what the wicks are indicating for us here. So because this, in the last 24 hours, we have made this amount of movement, and we can then zoom closer to see that movement clearer, which looks like, around here is what we're looking at. So you can see, like the 1 day candle or whatever starting, let's see, 4-8, starting around here. currently is around here. So that definitely tracks with our, with our thick or like little body and then tall wick. This whole chunk is the wick in the 1 hour or in the 1 day. Sorry. So you look at that again, and that's exactly what this candle is showing. And then you can go even closer with 1 hour. And then from here, you can start getting into like crazy noise and go all the way down to like 1 minute charts, where now each candle becomes a single minute and it is doing its own thing here. Again, you can start reading completely different technical analysis if you're going on the 1 minute chart. But then, for example, on the 1 minute chart, you can see, look how much this pumped up value wise all the way up to like here. But look how nowhere not even close the unbalanced volume was. Like this is very clearly still like not making higher highs, and as this is dumping, this is meaning it's becoming oversold. This is also trending down, while this is not really like making a new high. When we pumped from here to here, it didn't even fucking register here,
Yeah, you can see whatever you wanted to see on charts that narrow. I feel unless you're like a hardcore day trader, I feel like that's just a lot of statistical noise.
Yeah.
Whereas, people like Max and Sid typically do test most of their assumptions by looking at the daily, the monthly close, and then, maybe on a more narrow viewpoint, like the 4 hour. And then maybe jump down to 1 hour just to confirm what you're seeing on the 4. But I would say 4 hour and 1 day is probably your most likely. And then maybe like a monthly chart if you want to see super trends.
Yeah. And then here's the week. This is where each candle becomes 1 week. And this is a lot more clear and like a lot cleaner here, where it's like you have your middle line. We retest. You have the one candle close above, the next candle unable to also close fully above. And then we continue down. Like the rules are a lot more like steadfast in this. Whereas here, you get one candle, this one closing above, and then it's like, okay, now we're above the B-bands line. So now, we kept moving up, and now we're retesting this B-bands line becomes the like support. So we bounced back and then bounced off support to go up. Here we lost it and then closed the next day entirely below. Now we're on the flip side of the trend. Now this line turned from support to resistance. And now when we try to go back above it, it is pushing us down, keeping us below. And that's been true pretty much since here. So if you're following trading like that on the weekly chart, you would have been able to call it top on like Bitcoin around $50,000. And then, that would have been pretty good considering you can buy it back at 20,000 now. So
yeah, it is easy to see, like, hindsight's 2020, like it's easy to go back and kind of see the tea leaves and how it all played out. In real time, it's a lot easier said than done.
It's a lot harder to do this stuff and actually be looking at like the real-time data.
I do think it's good to see, like, okay, I remember this big pump, I remember this big drop, I remember when COVID was hitting first. I feel like you can at least go back, review these events and see what some of the trends are, to then take you into the present and the future to at least kind of see some of these patterns. I think is the key if you're trying to teach yourself how to fish here.
Yeah, and then it is actually kind of fun if you want to test your like hand at it. You can try it setting it to like low, like a 5 minutes is too low, maybe like a 15-minute range. And then if you're like actively day trading, you can start like seeing, like here's Bitcoin recently, and you did get like it's a lot less like clear here. We're going up and above and below the B-bands line kind of constantly until we start a trend here up. And then it's like, okay, once we're pushing up like this, and if I had like, the foresight to kind of open a trade around here, which, since I had marked out resistance here and we were below that, I might have been inclined to, that's a definitely, would have given me an out where it's like, okay, here, the market made it to 20,200. At that point, I would see the middle B bands line is at like 19.5. So I should, maybe set a stop loss or something at 19.5, knowing that if we do end up having a hard turn and it does make it below 19.5, which is at the point where we're at 20,200, 19.5 is the middle of the B-Bands line. So we would know that I could safely set a stop loss here, knowing that if we do close below that line or that level, we're moving below the B-Bands line and, reversing the trend possibly. So we would like to stop our losses there. I'd set the stop loss around here. And then as the price keeps climbing and our B-Bands line moves up, like we get to around here, I might move the stop up to try to capture this additional profit. Should we get stopped out. And then here you're seeing kind of the same thing happen where, the on balance volume is dropping more aggressively than see here, the spot price is here, which is where it used to be here kind of throughout all of this time. And now look at our on balance volume is below all of this. So money's leaving the Bitcoin market on the 15-minute chart. So expecting to see that trend continue to play out and the price to continue to fall and sell off would be the kind of the takeaway from looking at this. And then even again here, we're seeing this red line that I had drawn a long time ago has been kind of acting as a resistance level here before it was flipped and mixed. And now again, it fell right through and it seems to be intact as resistance still post this sell-off here. But you could try to get a clear, see how you do with picking directions and trying to predict markets based off of technical analysis on the shorter term. And then the more you do it, I feel like the better you get at it. And at least you can get a little bit of feedback to see if, you're making calls that are playing out the way you're expecting them to. And since again, we're on the 15-minute chart here, to see if I'm right about this becoming resistance and pushing further down is going to take, 5 or 6 candles, and that's 5 times 15 minutes. So several hours of waiting and patience, and it can get very difficult when you open a position that's actively, losing money to then wait several hours before making the next move. So there's definitely a lot of what is that called? Discipline involved with doing this kind of stuff well. And it can be tricky. But either way, what we're looking at on the wider scale here on the 1 hour.
I think it is an exercise in building confidence. If you can build confidence in your ability to read the chart, make calls, and then start slow. And, everyone's risk tolerance is different. But, I mean, it seems like you could start with small amounts of money, kind of confirm your hypotheses, practice, get some wins under your belt. Then you can build the confidence to then have the stomach to use larger bags, if you will, and then be able to hold true to your thoughts, or
exactly,
hold true to your sentiment.
Holding true. That's it. That's exactly what I'm looking for with technical analysis. Is I have a sentiment that I've formulated by whatever means, even if it is the FOMC meeting is happening Wednesday, and I expect these things to if it's not to do with the chart, for example, right? What I'm looking at the chart for then is bias. I want more bias for my decision. If I think the price is going down, help me confirm the bias that the price is going down, and how do I do that? Well, are we on the oversold side? Are we sinking in on balance volume? And then these metrics start to help me build bias to strengthen my resolve so that I don't paper hands these trades.
Yeah, and I do think the key to you don't just I think a lot of good traders not only take a position, but they're constant and so they read the chart, take a position, they have a bearable sentiment, and then they expect things to play out in a certain way. But you don't just set it and forget it and then, all right, I'm long on this thing, so check back in 6 months, nailed it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the key to success is constantly retesting that hypothesis, because the variables of which you decided to go long in this example may not hold true a week from now, a day from now, whatever the time frame is. So constantly retesting that hypothesis to see if that sentiment holds true is also a key piece to making the right decision to stay or to cut your losses or to realize your gains. I think it's a constant test retest cycle to do it well.
Yeah, exactly. And like again, I think a good way to think about like technical analysis in general isn't I'm using technical analysis to make decisions. It's I'm using technical analysis to inform the bias of a decision I already made. Like I'm using it to strengthen my own biases. Like I think the price is going down. Now let me look at the charts and see if I can, add to that bias and maintain that thought or that position, that sentiment, rather than being like, 100% of the time, like when a 1-day candle closes fully below the Bollinger Bands, we're moving down, which is just like not the case. Here we are closing fully below, next candle fully below, and then moving up. So in this scenario, we would see that, okay, this maybe closing below becomes our indication that it's like maybe it's time to, short sell, maybe the market's turning down. And then we can take that idea and see if the bias for the idea is informed by the RSI. No, it's not oversold, even though we are below the middle line, and then the OBV, yeah, it is actually selling off and making lower lows. But because we're not oversold yet, I'm not convinced we're gonna, or we'll bounce right back or something. And even though we did, this might have been a moment where the biases like fucked me, where, here is what the chart would have looked like at the time. We're basically retesting the previous low again, not all the way oversold and making lower, like trending down on the on bounce volume. I might consider all that bias to help me say, yeah, time to sell. This is going to continue down. And lo and behold, not what happened. And these are day, like, so if you're making a position like that with leverage, for example, or with borrowed money, you're paying interest for this position to stay open, for what is that, 2.5 months already, while you're still out. Yeah, it's like, it's not great. So, there's definitely quite a bit involved with like trying to make these decisions. And I think the best course of action for anyone trying to learn is to just start doing it and see what works, what doesn't work, and like kind of how you're able to start seeing the patterns a little bit better the more you kind of get into it. But looking at the markets right now, I think I'm still a bit of a bear. I think we're still moving down. Like I don't see the sell-off like really being alleviated by the last week of performance here in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And, interests and inflations are all like kind of out of control still in like the general markets out there. So personally, I'm going to continue assuming we're going to either flatline or sell off. And I'm going to check all the way out on the weekly chart to see the flatline case, since we are at the red line was like the first bear market like target I had drawn out a long time ago. I think the next target will be actually around here, like $13,000 for Bitcoin. But since we are now here on the weekly, and you can see we are well below the B-Bands line, we can still move sideways along this until the B-Bands line kind of makes it to here, which, that would still put us into like the end of November of moving sideways entirely. I'm not sure we're going to pump up, but we could.
It's funny. I think this is the first time I've seen like, as far as just on the news, that they're actually talking bear market and actually saying it.
Yeah.
So we've been talking bear for months, and only recently, at least in my worldview and my news digestion here, is to finally see people like, maybe there's a recession coming on. Maybe we're in a bear market. So it is kind of wild. I was like, that seems obvious to me.
Yeah, it's a good metric when everybody is like, buying stocks and equities is a bad idea because everything's going down and everybody's calling for bear markets. That's a good time to start maybe picking up some of those shares and some of those equities.
Bear market, I think the definition for a bear market is kind of ambiguous. I feel like there's a lot of different interpretations on how you would technically define that. So in that way, even just the terminology can be somewhat murky, and what a person would consider a bear market versus another. I think there are certain like statistical rules of like, broad market dropping like 20% versus like all-time highs or things like that, or like multiple quarters closing under a certain, or maybe that's like recession, but anyway, there's like people choose different statistical points to try and decide on when it's officially switched. When in more so, it feels more like a sentiment and a general broader feeling rather than a specific statistical thing. But then again, like I honestly don't know for sure. I'm just saying this.
Yeah, for me, what I would consider a bear market is, generally speaking, we're closing weeks below the middle Bollinger Bands line, below the 200-day smooth moving average, which is effectively the middle Bollinger Band line on the weekly. So if we're closing below that, in my book, that's a bear trend. Maybe not a bear market, but a bear market is defined by the bear trend, which we're seeing, starting here and continuing since then, which is what, December 2021. Like that's almost, we're coming up on like 2/3 of a year here of the trend being intact. That I would consider a bear market. Like that's almost, we're coming up on year one of the bear market being in full swing.
Let's see. I'm seeing 20% decline in equities over a period of 2 or more months. But
there you go.
It says other characteristics are considered. Investors feel panicked and pessimistic.
Yeah.
The general economy of the country or the economic outlook isn't good. Those are very subjective and kind of terms. So if you're thinking hard data, I guess 20% decline over a 2-month period is a broad indicator.
Yeah, for that we definitely hit that already. Like, each one of these is a candle, or each candle is here is a week. So I mean, just this chunk here is like 2 months.
Yeah.
We're definitely, I would say we qualify for bear market. Now, something to consider on that is a nice transition for the bear market, and for what I wanted to talk about today is to trade these types of equities, especially in the crypto market during a bear market. The best idea or the best bet for traders to basically hedge their position against a fall in these prices is to put their money into cash. And to put your money into cash on the blockchain requires you to interact with an asset like USDT or DAI or USDC or anything like that, which is called a stablecoin. And a stablecoin aims to be a digital token asset where one token always equals to a fixed amount of some fiat currency. So for USDC, USDT, DAI, that fiat currency is the US dollar. And so 1 unit of those tokens should always equal $1.
Isn't DAI like algorithmically tied to the Ethereum price?
So DAI is backed by Ethereum and algorithmically tied to the US dollar tie. Yes, it's maker DAO.
Real quick, I'm gonna run Stream Raiders before we go into this next big segment here.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me take a look at that.
But yeah, I think the part that gets lost, particularly with stablecoins, is not all stablecoins are created equal. I think we've said that a few times. Like how different tokens achieve stability is very different. Some are more flawed than others. UST and Luna, I'm looking at here, and like bridge tokens that have failed either through hacks or just bad tokenomics or bad actors. So kind of determining if you're going to find stability and harbor in cash on the blockchain. There are different sets of risk, I guess, on how you achieve that stability.
Yeah, it's important to know how your tokens are issued, just like in anything that we invested in the past or that we've looked at in the past. For example, like CMW token on Wax, we were looking at. The biggest factor was, what's the distribution schedule? How is this token minted into circulation and issued, And that factor will decide, the supply and demand dynamic that is, that is creating value for these like assets.
Yeah,
So
like UST lost their peg because of the way that it was designed. It was designed to have that peg be maintained through the Luna token, of which is much more complicated than I could explain.
yeah,
I'll leave that to Max. And then, Harmony, for example, had a bridged USDC asset that the bridge was hacked. So there was Ethereum based USDC, its native chain, that existed in this bridge. And to create the collateral counterpart for the wrapped token, that was basically an IOU for these native USDC tokens that then got hacked and pulled out. So all of the collateral that backed that was gone. But again, like USDC is involved with, what is it, Circle and Coinbase,
yeah, yeah,
and that is the company behind it, and they show their the receipts to say we have straight cash and real collateral off chain that is equal to the amount of tokens that we are distributing. USDT is in a similar boat, but Tether has less transparency on their books, so that is some people don't like to use Tether because of its you can't see the books as easily to see that are they doing what they say they are, as in do they have the same amount of dollars as they do USDT tokens. They say they do. It's unclear in a way that some people, with enough information to give some people the same sort of confidence they would have in USDC. DAI obviously is backed by Ethereum. I think that they're pretty transparent, but the mechanisms of how it is backed to achieve like a true collateral that exists equal to the amount of DAI in circulation is a little more complex. So
yeah. Here, if hold on, is my screen back? Oh, sweet. Yeah, here is like, for example, Forex Finance is another DeFi protocol on the Ethereum blockchain that issues the token FRAX, which is another stablecoin, a dollar token, which is worth $1. And here you can see the price of Forex tokens over the history of its inception. So when it first came out, it was a little bit more volatile. And by a little bit, I mean like, the peak was $1.02, and the lowest price ever was like 99.4. So, or 0.3 here. So like, oh, I guess here's the value. 98.2 is the lowest price. So even with it being volatile in its early inception, it never really strayed more than like 2 cents away from being worth 1-to-1 with $1. And over time, as this, you can see this is getting a lot more flat as like the protocol builds liquidity and owns its backings and is basically secured that way. So you can see there's $1.3 billion worth of Forex tokens out there. They're each worth $1 a piece. The way that they're backed is shown broken down here. So the black sparse here, that's algorithmic. That means that's nothing. There is no backing for this percentage of tokens. And if we actually change this to just the algorithmic and the backing, you can see 7.25% of this total supply, meaning 7.25% of $1.3 billion is just algorithmic, like is just imaginary value that's issued by the token protocol and can be deleted by the token protocol as easily as it can be issued and minted into circulation. The remainder of the collateral backing these dollars is actual collateralized assets, and you can see those assets are mostly Curve AMOs, which is Curve liquidity. So that would be pools in Curve that include Forex and other stable coins. So that would be a pool like the Forex 3 pool, which is a pool that consists of USDT, DAI, USDC, and Forex all in one pool. So because they're all in that same pool, they can all be interchangeable against each other because that's what Curve does. And that interchangeability then maintains the dollar peg. The deeper that pool is, the harder it becomes to move the peg. And you can see here that pool is deep, like $500 million deep, $534 million.
Well, so real quick as a pause, because this is getting pretty deep.
Yeah.
Is there an inherent risk where you have stable coins creating stability from other stable coins? So you're basically keep layering more stability on the thoughts of stability. And if that first layer fails, then everything cascades with
That's
it.
exactly the risk, is that this stablecoin, this Forex protocol, is backed by a pool of assets and therefore exposed to the risk of all of those assets losing peg and losing value. So that pool that I just mentioned, the Forex 3 pool on Curve, one of the assets in there is USDT. USDT is issued by the Tether foundation, which is a private company that issues basically an ERC20 token, which is just an Ethereum token. Like anybody could go on, I guess we're maybe familiar with maybe WaxDAO. Like you could go on WaxDAO and create your own token and then mint it into your own wallet and start giving it out, That's basic.
Access stable coin.
That's basically,
that's stable coin. Connects to my bank account, I promise.
Yeah, that's what the Tether Foundation does. They just mint a new coin, issue it into circulation, and say that they have a vault that backs each coin that they mint with physical dollar. Initially, they said they have $1 for each Tether that was issued. Then they adjusted that to we have $1 in value for each Tether we issue. Some of it is maybe not dollars but bitcoins but stocks or maybe bonds or whatever. So the risk with the Tether token and the Tether Foundation is that what they're telling us they have in their vaults versus what they're showing us are two different things. So they are not openly audited, and what they have in the past done as audits are I forget the name of it, the technical name of it, but it's basically inviting a third party to audit their reserve on a specific day. Like let's say on the 28th of this month, you the really easy way for me to kind of explain this would be if I told you I own a Lamborghini.
Yeah,
right?
Like a random drug test, but for a financial institution.
Yeah, but that's the thing, it's not random. If I then tell you I own a Lamborghini, it's an orange Lamborghini Hurricane, and it's sitting in my garage. Right now it's sitting there, and I just I'm not driving it, so you can't see it. Sorry. If you're well, can you show it to me? Put up a live feed camera into your garage to show me, so anytime I can check that it's there. And I was no, I won't do that. But you can come tomorrow at 3 p.m. You can come and you can look into my garage, for 30 minutes. And basically you can come and I could have a Lamborghini in the garage, at 3 p.m. on
from your friend, maybe
that I don't know, maybe it's mine, maybe not, but you can see it's there. And then once I close the garage and you leave, you report, yes, Max does have a Lamborghini in his garage, but you leave out the part of at 3 p.m. on Wednesday of this, not always, just they had it on this day. And Tether does that type of audit, which in the finance world, you can very easily, take a multi-billion-dollar loan. If you're an institution, multi-billion-dollar loan, put that into an account, let an accountant or an auditor look at the account and say, yeah, there was multiple billions of dollars in this account on this day, and then use that statement as a yeah, see, we have all the money we say we issue, even though the $1 billion was in reality a loan that they took for 24 hours and ended up paying 20 grand or something in interest to borrow the money, but the money was never theirs to begin with. So there's big risks with that kind of
and particularly
froggery.
When they're using the value of other assets that aren't just hard dollars or something that is a very fixed, clear value. Like if they're saying, oh, we have real estate, and the real estate and the Bitcoin and all these other kind of variable valued assets, you have to trust their word on how they valued it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Are they saying that are they valuing their Bitcoin on a moving 6-month average? Are they valuing this real estate based on current prices, the prices over the last 3 months? I mean, there's a lot of room for interpretation, particularly when it's done by themselves. It's
Exactly.
like
That's
we
the big
value
thing.
this, we value this ourselves, and we really trust ourselves. You know,
Yeah,
there's no
we've
third
investigated our own holdings, and we've determined that we have enough money to cover the billions that we've issued, which is like, okay, now let a financial regulator do the same thing.
and for
You know?
something that is supposed to provide stability, it's in the name. That level of ambiguity doesn't
Yeah.
give a lot of people confidence. That's where there's a lot of mixed reviews of Tether. And I
Yes.
do think something just in general that is flawed in the crypto system is that if you're new to cryptocurrencies as assets, it can be misleading when you see a bunch of coins labeled with USD in the
Yeah.
name or Euro
Yeah.
in the name, and it implies that they're all the same when they're very much not. So like UST, you could think, oh well, yeah, that's US dollar, USDC's US dollar, Tether's US dollar. It's all just different shit, right? Well, it's not.
$57 billion is
So,
circulating in Tether. Do
but
they really have that in their book? They really have $58 billion in cash somewhere?
but on the
Like,
flip side, do you know if DAI is a stable coin? It's not implied in the name. So
right.
I do think it is intimidating and potentially pitfalls, and people lose money. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that were new to uh, crypto that were invested in Luna, and there's all this hype and talk about it. And then all of a sudden, like, what the hell? This UST is not worth $1. That's what you told me it was.
Yeah.
And
So
they don't understand
yeah,
why. When you tell
like
me it's $1 and it's not $1, that is kind of confusing.
yeah, the added layer of fuckery that USDT did, or I'm sorry, UST did, the Tether token that collapsed, is they basically, like Tether, issued a currency that they say they have backing for, but part of their backing was their own token. So if Tether also launched a token that wasn't USDT, but just like Tether coin, and owning Tether coin gave you like some type of, I don't know, staking yield or whatever it is that you can do with it. But then the Tether Foundation took their own balance of Tether coin and used, like, let's say they kept 10% of the supply for themselves, and that supply is now worth $1 billion. If they put that supply into their vault and then issued another $1 billion worth of USDT to be like, well, it's backed by, assets, but it's like, yeah, assets that have a price that you can never actually realize, because there's no way you could sell $1 billion worth of Terra tokens to actually get $1 billion worth of cash. The liquidity doesn't actually like exist for that, even though the market cap says it's worth it. So that's what happened with Terra, where like when the price of the UST dollar started to fall, what they did was start selling these Terra units to buy more dollars to kind of bring it back to peg, which was part of the design of how it should work. But the Terra price is effectively linked to the UST price, and so now both of them are basically selling into each other on a race to the bottom,
And
while other people are short selling it.
this kind of leads into the next kind of, I think, major phase in crypto, is that there is no you don't need any approval or to show anything to be a stable coin. Now
Yeah.
Obviously, like, if you're listing on exchanges, those exchanges may ask you for certain documentation or see the books or the accounting and things like that. But each exchange, of which there are many globally in different countries with different finance laws, one may require different things than the other. And so when you have this inconsistency in what the expectations are, it creates a lot of ambiguity. And the ambiguity, when in something as serious as a stable coin, which is the backbone of trading in these crypto markets, it opens up a lot of pitfalls, as we're seeing with all of these centralized exchanges or decentralized platforms just completely crumbling, because when the market dropped, their liquidity just kind of fell apart. So I mean, people were talking about BUSD in the chat. I don't know if you know much about
BUSD
that.
is this one, Binance. That's Binance US dollar. That's another stable
I
coin.
know that they have basically listed with or have been basically audited by like a New York financial firm, and are trying to follow like US SEC laws to provide the transparency to say these are real dollars, and we can show this, and we can be audited, and there's third party people. So that and USDC, I think, are the
USDC is another one that's a
way, and the the amount of transparency that's necessary to create confidence in these things.
Yeah, and let's just take a look really quick here. The top 7 biggest cryptocurrency market caps, as in the most money, by total units versus units in circulation. Of the top 7 of those, 3 of them are stable coins. We got Tether, USDC, and Binance Dollar, so BUSD. So, like Mark was saying, 3 of these represent dollars, but they all arrive at that peg to the dollar in a different way. Like Tether just issues it potentially out of thin air against a vault that they say that they have the counterpart for, but they won't let a third party audit. Whereas USDC is issued by Circle, which is partnered with Coinbase. It's like a big institutional money. They back their money with cash and US bonds, and they have like audits and big, institutional investors behind them. I would say USDC is probably one of the most secure stable coins out there. That isn't to say that Circle isn't above, fuckery. It's possible that Circle is insolvent and is issuing currencies that they shouldn't be. It's a lot less possible than Tether being insolvent and issuing shit they couldn't be because of that third-party auditing layer. Same goes, like Mark was saying, Binance is also very hard at work to be compliant. The SEC has recently introduced legislation. It's not a new bill. It's just being discussed and potentially will become a law. But the legislation suggests that any crypto asset that represents a $1 unit, so that would be Tether, USDC, Binance Dollar, DAI, literally anything that is supposed to be $1 US dollar.
Coin.
Yeah, anything that's a stable coin and pegged to the dollar, because you can peg stable coins to euros or to yuan or ruples.
Like a financial regulator in the United States specifically.
Yeah. And so what they've said recently is that anybody who's issuing these stable coins as dollars must have a 1-to-1 backing for them in either US dollar cash, like banknotes, or US dollar treasury bonds. End of list.
Yeah.
So
no Bitcoin, no nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have Bitcoin on top of that and other assets to create some padding, but for every coin, there needs to be a dollar.
Yeah. So you can have Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that stuff as part of your vault. But if you've issued $67.8 billion worth of the stablecoin, you better have $67.8 billion in banknotes and government bonds collectively. And then all the Bitcoin and Ethereum and other shit that you have, great. But if you don't have 1-to-1 coverage in actual physical like cash assets, that would be in breach of the SEC's regulation, again, which is just being discussed right now and not necessarily going to make it to the final stages, but is very interesting to say the least, because there is many projects out here such as FarX or DAI, which are not backed by US dollar cash assets. I would say the majority of DAI's backing is actually USDC, which great if USDC is backed by cash assets. That's cool because Circle can operate like that. But Maker DAO, which is a decentralized or autonomous organization on Ethereum blockchain, is the issuer of DAI tokens. It's not a centralized authority. Like, it's not a bank. It's not like a place that can run in a way, where they can just hold treasury bonds.
Yeah, it's decentralized
where are you going to hold the treasury bonds if they're not on chain? Because the DAO operates entirely on chain. So if such a thing becomes law, then issuing tokens such as DAI would be illegal. And it is also very unclear who is legally responsible for that. It could be as broad as anybody who owns MKR token, which is MKR, is the Maker DAO governance token. So anyone who owns these tokens is effectively responsible for the issuing of DAI, potentially. So either way, like, obviously there's quite a bit of like ambiguity in like defining what is and isn't like a legal way to operate in this space. And, the legislation I was reading about this does include a 2-year grace period for protocols such as Maker to become compliant. But it honestly is very unrealistic, in my opinion, that something like Maker DAO would ever own U.S. Treasury bonds.
Could they like redesignate? They wouldn't be listed as a stable coin, but would effectively act as a stable coin. Like, can they?
That's what I was. You could just shift to like euros. It's like, okay, DAI represents €1 now, or one, pound sterling, and not USD.
Like, I feel like the interesting piece in the current ecosystem is that a lot of the accountability to major governments is the exchange. So the exchange is the point of contact, because these are more clearly defined businesses with employees and people that run them and people you can call and talk to. And they are responsible for the coins that they choose to list. And in that way, that creates accountability in the system, is that the exchange doesn't want to get in trouble. So they vet any coins they put on there. And in that way, there's some level of policing here. But that does put a lot of risk on the exchange to say that, well, if at the time I vetted them and this is legit, and then something else happens or something changes, and then it becomes now not viable or not a bad actor in some way, and now I'm left holding the bag for what I thought was a good idea at the time, and then you're not really holding the right people accountable, or are you? It's an interesting conversation.
It's definitely a very interesting and a very difficult prospect to try to regulate something like that.
But if you would, and it's like Max said, it's all kind of discussion. It's like, how do we wrap our heads around this? Because DAOs and decentralized organizations and programming, like things that exist basically on pure governance and programming, aren't really captured in this approach to accountability. Even though I do think that this level of accountability is necessary for stablecoins specifically to add stability to the system and legitimacy to crypto as a financial asset. So it's hard to not change what decentralization has become on the blockchain and what it's really governed by and what is important. But at the same time, adapting to the world in a way that protects consumers and protects value and doesn't allow bad, shady actors to be bad and shady. So I don't know if like in this proposed legislation or discussion, if it's like, okay, well, stable coins can be issued on centralized exchanges, but say like DAI would no longer qualify as a stable coin. Maybe they can't be listed on a centralized exchange.
Yeah, or like Tornado Cash here, they could be sanctioned by the Treasury, like by the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Like Tornado Cash is a tumbler on Ethereum, where you can take like your wallet and say, I'm going to put 1 Ethereum into the tumbler. And on the other end, you'll receive like 0.98 or whatever Ethereum back. And what Tornado Cash does is it takes 1 Ethereum and it sends it to like 1,000 different wallets, and then 1,000 more, and keeps doing that until eventually it sends you back, your Ethereum minus the fee for Tornado Cash tumbling. And your history of your 1 Ethereum that you had before you tumbled the token is obscured and can't be determined back to a illicit event such as a hack or a theft. Meaning, if I stole $1 million, I can't just transfer that into my exchange account and cash out.
Washing machine for
it's literally, it's called coin tumbling, but it is an ongoing. It's just a smart contract. It's not like a business offers to do this for you. It's just a contract on the Ethereum blockchain, just like Maker DAO, and it is sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury to the point where if you use it and then you send Ethereum from your wallet to your exchange is obligated, if you live in the United States, to seize your assets and freeze your account. And basically your money becomes forfeit because you've been effectively dealing with illegal sanctioned contracts. You're not really
stopping it at the source. I mean, obviously, like
100%, and that's
this are doing so because they're doing illicit things.
Yeah.
So if you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law. So
the real shitty part of this is that you could go to Uniswap, trade your USDC into Ethereum, and the Ethereum that you receive might have been sent through Tornado Cash before you got it from Uniswap. And then when you take your Ethereum to sell it at your exchange, now the exchange seizes it and is like, hey, this is involved with like a tumbler that you're not allowed to use, and you actually didn't do any of that shit.
But how do you sanction an autonomous smart contract, right? Like, you're not sanctioning anyone. Now, obviously, the people who are deliberately using this for illicit things have that coming, but
Yeah.
you know, you're really not stopping the source of the problem, because there is no person to go after. So how do you shut down the smart contract or sanction or somehow punish the smart contract that's enabling illicit things when there is no single person to identify? And that is, you know, decentralization has its merits, and this is a detriment in the decentralized world of how do you hold accountability when there is no one place to point.
Yeah, here, this is another interesting one that happened recently. So this is the 3 pool on Curve, right? The 3 pool is pretty much where stablecoin liquidity swapping lives. So here's the 3 pool. You can see it has almost $1 billion worth of liquidity in it, $866 million on the Ethereum chain. This pool exists on other chains too, but this is only the Ethereum pool. And this $800 million is in USDC, USDT, and DAI. And you can see here, you know, $294 million in DAI, 277 million in USDC, and 295 million in Tether exist in this one pool. Now, USDC and Tether are issued as ERC20 contracts by a centralized authority, Circle and the Tether Foundation. That means that they actually have a pretty realistic centralized control over those assets. And if you steal USDC or USDT from a like exchange or from a protocol, and that is then flagged to the issuer of that token, such as USDC, like Circle or Tether Foundation, they can freeze your assets from being sendable, like blacklist your wallet from using their token contract, which would effectively make your tokens worthless and unspendable entirely. So it's a very quick way that if you are a criminal or if you're a hacker or an exploiter and you manage to steal, you know, a big sum of USDC and USDT, it's a big liability to hold those tokens. So what happened recently, like 2 weeks ago, somebody hacked, I forget which protocol it was, but for like $200 million in stable coins, and immediately deposited those into this pool. Because you can't blacklist this pool without blacklisting all of this money. Now, the person whose wallet it is owns the 3C liquidity for this pool now, but you could trade you could trade just the 3 pool. Like this token that represents all 3 of these is just 3 CRV. So 3 CRV token here, which is worth $1.02. So you can just take this to the market and trade it now, even though it's comprised of a basket of other stable coins. So there's like a lot of layers to this kind of system. So like, yeah, this pool, you know, this is a great way to hold stablecoin that is earning interest, because this pool or this 3 CRV token is basically just these 3 stablecoins that exist in a pool and are being traded against each other constantly. So you're earning the trading interest as well as have exposure to all 3 of these tokens, which could be good, could be bad. But again, there's all these layers that like, okay, now, you know, when we use DAI, we have the risk of MakerBot being potentially like sanctioned by the government. Now, if we use USDC, that risk isn't there. But if I use USDC to invest into the Curve 3 pool, I'm now again exposed to DAI and USDT. So kind of understanding how interconnected all these things are definitely helps. And the other side of this is that when I use USDT or USDC on where I am right now on Ethereum, you know, that's great, but like maybe Ethereum costs too much money for me to actually transact, and I want to do like a $10, you know, trade or something. Let's see if I go into my wallet here.
Yeah, I mean, my fear with the legislation is like, I think it's necessary, but do I trust, at least in the United States, the lawmakers to really understand the complexities of how all these things intertwine, and the if this, maybe that. And there's a lot of nuance.
Oh, your mic like cut out there after the word nuance.
Kind of rigid.
Oh, there it is.
Could find a way to capture all these gray areas when the inclination with policy making is to make things pretty black and white. So
Yeah.
I'm cautious to see how this all plays out, but hard things are hard, I guess.
Yeah. So like here, for example, if I wanted to do a trade, $10 into Ethereum, I could get, almost $10 worth of Ethereum for it, but it's going to cost me $2.25 in gas fees to do that transaction. $2.25 on a $10, that's 22%, 23% of the value of my trade is being asked for in gas. Now I could up this to 100 and the gas isn't going to change. It's still 225 or 220, like whatever. But I could also drop it to $1, and now I'm paying 200% of the cost of this transaction in fees. So I like my USDC, but I can't really use it on Ethereum to do like a $1 trade. But I could use it on a different blockchain, maybe like Polygon, maybe like crypto.com, or let's do Wax, because we all are familiar with Wax. USDC is issued on the Ethereum network natively, but we can transact with it on Wax by bringing it over to the Wax blockchain through the bridge. So that's kind of where I wanted to end up with this conceptual conversation.
We got way out in left field then.
Yeah, it's like what are bridges? Why would you want to use one? And like after we go over what the risks are to using them, and why would you rather like when is it better to use a bridge versus to use a swap? And what is like the inherent risk of using a bridge? So again, starting kind of like from the beginning of that concept, a bridge is going to be a portal between blockchains where I can send from one blockchain and receive on the other blockchain. But what's really happening is you can't move USDC tokens from Ethereum into Wax. Instead, you move the tokens on Ethereum from one wallet that you own into a wallet that somebody who issues the Ethereum token or the USDC token on Wax owns. So I will send tokens to the Wax wallet. They will then send me Wax equivalents of that token. So like an IOU, but on the Wax blockchain. And that IOU, I can always return to that and pull back my original from the Ethereum side. So the USDC in this scenario will never have actually left the Ethereum blockchain. They'll just have been sent into a wallet address that is owned by the issuer of the bridge asset on Wax. So to find that issuer, I'm going to go into...
Now, one of the risks there, if you're a hacker, is these bridges just hold giant lumps of value to create collateral to issue these wrapped bridge tokens. So these bridges kind of act as honeypots for bad actors.
Yeah, so let's take a look. I want to do USDC, and I want USDC to work on Wax. So I'm going to go into my own wallet here, and I actually already have a few USDC Wax tokens here. Wax, not that one. Let's see. Wax USDC is the name of this token. So you can see the maximum supply of the token is shown here as 100,000 million billion 4.6 trillion that could exist on Wax. Of the 4.6 trillion, 1 million USDC have been minted on the Wax blockchain. Of these 1 million tokens, 99.9 or 999 million or 999,007 live in the bridge wallet. The next biggest wallet on the entire Wax blockchain owns 500. So if we want some of these tokens from the bridge wallet, we need to ask them to be sent to us on Wax. And the way that they can be sent to us is for us to send USDC tokens on Ethereum to the counterpart of this bridge. So let's do that. I'm going to go into the Wax Cloud wallet to start this. I've signed into my my web wallet application here, And on the left side, you can see there is a token bridge here. So I'm going to go to the token bridge. On the top, we have the wax P to wax E. This is 1,000 wax will turn into 1 wax E. And the wax E is then tradable on Ethereum as an ERC20 token as well. It is also reversible. We can swap back 1 wax E into 1,000 wax P and do that. But since we're not here for the wax side of things, but rather the US dollar coin token, I'm going to go down a little here to the token bridge. And first things first, I'm going to connect. So if you've never connected, this is what your wallet should look like. Disconnect from MetaMask wallet. Oh, I guess I don't need to. But if I want to, you wouldn't normally be connected. Or if you're not normally connected, you can come up here. Here, let me disconnect really quick. Connected sites. And then I'm going to go to the Wax Bridge and disconnect. And refresh really quick here. Oh, no, it just jumped over to a different wallet that I have in here that is connected. So if I switch to this, connected sites, and then remove that as well. So it's good practice to disconnect all this stuff and reconnect it whenever you do. But I keep all my private keys on hardware wallets anyway. So I'm a little lax about this kind of stuff. But here's that. So we'll disconnect here. And then it jumped to my third wallet. So we'll jump to that wallet too. Ends in 551A. That's not that one. That'll be 551A. So that's this one. And we'll disconnect from this as well. Disconnect. Okay. Here we go. This is what it looks like for you. I have a MetaMask wallet installed. I'm going to jump over to my main MetaMask wallet here. I have some Ethereum in here, and I also moved some US dollar coin that I want to trade. So I put 600 USDC into here, and I have some Ethereum to pay for fees. So I'm on my Wax Cloud wallet account. I'm going down to the token bridge, and I see the currently supported network is Ethereum. In the future, I think they're adding multiple networks with, I think, Binance Smart Chain being next in line. But for now, Ethereum's the only one, so we're going to go with Ethereum, and I'm using MetaMask. So I'll say choose MetaMask, and now you can choose whatever account you have here. So I'm choosing this account and connect. There we go. Now we can see up here my Ethereum wallet, and I can see it's ending in C4EB, all lowercase. This doesn't actually mean these letters are lowercase. This is just displaying in lowercase because I'm pretty sure my E is capital. Yeah, my E is capital. And my C is as well. So as long as I have the correct letters, it's not case sensitive to display. We know that I'm connected to the correct wallet. And now what I want to do is the token bridge. So I want to take my USDC balance. Here it is. And it sees I have 600 and convert that to Wax USDC. So I'm going to say 600 and convert to Wax USDC. It'll pop up with my MetaMask asking first for permission to interact with this contract bridge. Since this is the wallet's first time ever making a transaction with this contract, it needs to be permissioned. So I'll confirm that. And it's going to take maybe like a few seconds here. So I see pending approval.
Hi, Paul.
And people say hi, Paul. All right, so we're waiting for that. We can check this also if we go to view on Explorer. You can take a look. Current gas fees on Ethereum are 11 Gwei. So we can see this is going to cost about $1.30 at most. And it should finish in less than 3 minutes. We could have upped our gas cost, but we have to wait for the Ethereum blockchain. So there you go, success. Now that I have found success, it'll automatically pop up a new window. Now it's asking for, let's see, the right to convert this token. It's asking for the transfer, and it's going to cost me $1.92 in Ethereum to send my my USDC. So I'm going to assign that as well. And again, bringing up MetaMask, you can see approve USDC spend is confirmed, and now I can view in the block explorer my next transaction here. which this one will actually, nice, 11. Also 45 seconds. Let's see. Refresh here. Success. So then you can see here, tokens were transferred from, this one is my wallet. We can see here it says the C4EB at the end. That was the wallet I was using. To, and now this is going to be the bridge side on Ethereum for USDC bridge. So before I check on that, take a look here. We've converted like wax to wax USDC. It says now, it looks now like there's pretty much nothing going on, and it can be kind of like concerning because I don't see my USDC yet, but that's because it takes several minutes here. Claim process can take several minutes. Be patient. The next step for this side of the bridge is nothing. I just wait till I receive my USDC. So let's, while we wait, take a look at this bridged wallet, and you can see in this bridged wallet we have let's see, what's the current rate? Oh, that's the USDC contract. Let's see, to this wallet, E6.
Do you see the questions about people are asking about gas fees on POS for Ether? Why are transactions on Ether still so expensive?
Okay, sure.
UI says, why are you paying gas on POS Ether now?
Okay, so that's kind of a misconception that people have. I've heard a lot lately since Ethereum moved to proof of stake. People are assuming that it means that the gas fees and the network costs for doing transactions on Ethereum are going to be in line with what they're familiar with from other proof of stake systems. But the proof of stake side of Ethereum, the mechanism that has shifted to proof of stake is the consensus mechanism, the way that the network reaches consensus to move forward, to add blocks to the chain, not the way that it validates or charges for gas. So the gas cost on Ethereum is actually exactly the same as it was before the merge.
So it's still proof of work?
It's no, the proof of work and the proof of stake thing have updated, but the gas that you're paying to the validator nodes who are doing proof of stake mining. Like, that isn't changed at all. That can be changed with the proof of stake infrastructure now not requiring that kind of a thing, but it needs another update or like a fork or an upgrade. A fork would imply that people would not be on board, but like an upgrade to the code can be made to change the way that the Ethereum gas price is calculated, but it is currently still exactly the same as it was before as far as sending transactions goes. The reason that that you have to pay gas on Ethereum is because that's the way the transactions are structured on the chain, pre and post merger. The merger makes it possible to introduce much cheaper alternatives to the current system, but they must be introduced. They are not yet. They don't go online by default just because the network is now achieving consensus through proof of stake. It would need to update its actual, like you'd have to deploy a new update to the Ethereum network so that the cost of doing transactions is adjusted. It's definitely part of their plan, but I wouldn't expect to see that for another 6 months at least. Like, a big part of why.
Asked, how much in gas fees did you pay in total to do the bridge, and how much would it cost to transfer USDC for another address? I guess, like, how much more expensive is the bridge than just sending it?
Not much. So I spent $1.12 to use the bridge, and I spent, I think it was $1, and here we can actually check. So these two transactions are everything. So it was first approving the bridge contract and then sending the Ethereum. It cost $1.20 to send the Ethereum, and then it cost 89 cents to approve the contract. So we're talking about a little under $2 to do this entire bridging process. So the next step in the process is going to be to check on my OJUP2.wham wallet. I should receive wax, what's it called? Wax USDC here next. So I haven't yet, and I can check here because I'm still waiting. Nothing yet. And again, it can take quite a while. Like 10, 20 minutes is not absurd to wait for something like this, but it will appear back here when it gets here. So there's a claim tab as well. This claim tab is when you're doing the bridge back into Ethereum. So if I did the same process, instead of down here, I have, let's say USDT, for example, that would be wax USDT. There it is. And I have, an amount of this. I would say convert this back. I would sign the transaction from my cloud wallet, because that's where the USDT starts. It would pop up when I click this, instead of how it popped up for me to approve and do everything on the Ethereum side. It would ask first for that on the wax side, and then as soon as I do that, I send the wax. I could come up here and I would see a pending, basically a pending claim for the Ethereum side of the token, which would then require me to click claim, which will then prompt me to pay a gas fee to claim my rewards. Also, probably around $2 in wax or in Ethereum costs at the moment. That $2 is defined by the current gas cost. So right now it's 13 Gwei. That's pretty low. I've seen it go down to like 6, sometimes to like 2 or 3 if it's way late at night my time. But 13 Gwei is not bad, and you can do like a Uniswap trade right now would also cost around like $1.50 maybe. Like if I did a Ethereum back into this, it's going to cost me like $1.83. So it's kind of like, since the merge has happened and since the last few months, honestly, Ethereum transaction costs have been around $2 to $4 per transaction on chain for swap exchange style transactions. Simple transacting, like sending tokens to another wallet, much cheaper. So if I send these tokens just to my own wallet, like I could send all these, and this is going to cost me 33 cents. So just wallet to wallet transfers are relatively affordable, but 33 cents is still a lot more than we're paying on wax. So, depending on what you're doing, it's reasonable to do it on Ethereum. And the added bonus for working with Ethereum is that now when I'm using my USDC on Ethereum, I am not exposed to the contract that holds those USDC that I just sent. I'm not exposed to the risk of them getting hacked, because I am the first and last point of contact to those tokens. Whereas now that I've sent them over here to be on my Wax blockchain, now I am no longer I am the first and last point of contact to the Wax USDC token, but not to the USDC itself. The USDC itself exists still on Ethereum in this, bridge contract address. And if the Wax team who's behind that bridge has poor practices for security, it's possible somebody, hacks and exploits the bridge in a way that causes the Ethereum side of those assets to be exposed and then stolen, which is what happened on the Harmony bridge. And most of the time when you hear about a bridge exploit or a bridge hack, that's what is happening. One side of this equation, because it's bridging between two blockchains, one of the blockchains was vulnerable and exploited, and therefore the backing and the assets within that pool will have been stolen. And that's the biggest risk of using bridged assets in the first place. Like I said, this can take quite a while.
Someone asked, or IMKY asked, could I still spend gas fees and not get a mint? Like, can the transaction still fail on Ethereum after you spend the gas?
Yes, they can. So depending on what type of a transaction you're doing, when you send the transaction to the Ethereum chain, the gas that you're paying is basically to the miner who's adding your transaction to the block that they have found. Without trying to get too technical, you're paying to have your transaction broadcast. If that transaction fails, it has still been broadcast. So you still had to pay to broadcast it in the first place. That's when it becomes important to understand the fee structures. So like, for example, here, a Uniswap trade, if I say swap, it's asking, for $1.50 or something. I can check right now by clicking this market, it's taking 30 seconds to finish this trade. If I pay this amount, I could pay more in gas, $6, $8 or whatever, to make sure this trade settles in less than 15 seconds given current market conditions. Those conditions are changing in real time. So when something happens like Other Side from Bored Ape Yacht Club did their land drop, the second that land drop went high, people maybe saw a transaction that said $6 and it'll work. But the second you broadcasted, you're now in this pool of transactions waiting to be filled. And suddenly that pool has 1,000 new transactions in it. And all of those people are willing to pay more than you. Now your transaction is waiting to fill, even though you've paid the, fee to broadcast it, it's still waiting to fill. And if everyone else's stuff fills before yours, and by the time it's your turn, the sale has been sold out, the transaction will fail, but you'll still have paid your block. So there's the blockchain fee. So there's like the big kind of issue with this model, in my opinion, because it sucks to pay a fee when you haven't actually gotten anything for it. Like, that's nonsense. But that is the way it works. And
have you done the 100 wax thing yet?
I haven't, because that's on my other computer.
So we had to punt it to. We'll just punt
to
it to next week.
Yeah, but I am going to, once I get.
We did that last week as well.
Yeah, let's see. We can pull. No. Last week we ended up pulling it up. We did. We moved into the.
2 weeks ago we punted.
Yeah. We moved into the taco wax pool last week. We have a lot more taco swap stuff happening now, which we could.
Should we do a giveaway while we're waiting?
Yeah, let's do that. Because now that's the next thing in line for this process is wait. You gotta wait. We gotta wait for our.
I'm gonna run this
stuff to come
real quick.
Let's see.
I'm gonna look at the Our Planet Guild chat. People are going hard. Some guy threatened to he's like, "What's your phone number and where do you work? I'm gonna fucking hire a private investigator to track you down for killing my robots."
That's funny.
We're
someone
getting fucking
fucked up his
crazy
face?
in the DMs. I should share that screenshot because that's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen over fucking.
Someone fuck up his base or what?
That's super funny. Someone fucked up his robots, I guess.
Somebody fought him, and then he tried to fight back, and then we sent thousands of robots to defend against his, and then just all of them died, so he couldn't get retaliation. And that's when he got super pissed.
Oh, that's funny.
That's what you get.
I'm starting to think the microtransaction model of this shit is gonna work real well because I just checked that guy's account. And he has 250 packs of robots. And he just bought 100 packs. So
he just
people are
rage
fucking. People are going to rage spend the fuck out of money on this game.
I mean, it is kind of fun that you can get dicked over and then someone could just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna hit the aftermarket and buy 1,000 robots and send them your way.
Yeah, because the joke's on you that I just spent a bunch of money to beat your ass in a game.
Yeah,
definitely is a bit
Got
pay to
him.
winning, but I mean, that's
So
how
is most-
I don't think
microtransaction
that's-
model games work.
yeah. Most microtransaction games are that way. Our plant is on the rise. It is. They're getting their shit together.
Oh, Dub Wizard, thank you for the raise.
What up? Let's see. Just gotta make sure my.
Here we go. This is Silence of the Lambos. Keep asking your team for help, bro, because I cleared 5 low bases yesterday. Well over 75k weeknight just for Kismet alone. Poor guy. Keep the great job. I'm going to have to make an example of your broke-ass losers. And then that was after he sent it. And then I believe after he lost the fight, he goes, "Where do you live, bro? What's your name and phone number? Where do you work? Just tell me because I'm going to fight soon anyway. Can you refer a good private investigator in Germany, please?"
That's too funny.
So, yeah, people are getting big mad in our planet.
Yeah, sounds like it.
That's Androbots. Androbots are trying to take on Low, and it's not going real well for him, as you can see from this message. I don't think you're in that guild chat either, Max. You should get in there. That's where all the action's happening.
Yeah, I gotta. Is that just part of the Our Planet chat, or?
You have
Yeah,
to get
you
like
have
a
to-
roll.
You have to message Maxi, which I sent you that information days ago.
Oh yes, okay, I saw that.
Oh shit! I better start amping up production here.
I've been building a shit ton of defense.
Yeah, let's check on my.
Fucking
I-
ready.
I got a few. Like I thought I was doing pretty well. I have like 100 robots. And I was like, oh, no. And I looked at other people's bases. And like that's not very good.
People are sending like 2K robots on attacks.
Yeah. I got a level 10 Wax on mine and a level 10 Capone mine now, though. So I'm feeling good about that.
Tomorrow we got some Starcadia stuff to give away. He sent us some RGB blocks, but if you get this, you can get the free drop for a spaceship and play his game. I'm going to play it on stream tomorrow for Wax Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
But for today, let's give away an Influencer Sune. This is one of 9 different... Oh, wrong button. One of 9 different colored ones. If you get all 9, you can blend it into this. Multicolored ones, different Wax ambassadors and Wax streamers have access to it. So, interested in that, you can check, like in the Sune Discord, or Valorant Velum Discord, they tell you which streamers have which ones, so you can try to collect all of them. And it looks like most of them are still available, only 3 have been blended, or 2. So there should be 8 left.
Oh.
But we're giving away the blue one.
Nice. Switch back here. There we go.
I will say the one reason you can't do that in this game is because it costs Weekend to use robots. So if you summon 1 million robots, you can't pay the cost to keep them alive, and then they all just start dying. So there is like a cutoff to how many you can buy without resources. You need to upgrade your mines and stuff just to keep them alive. So if you summon like thousands of robots, you're just going to ruin your own economy and then further hurt yourself. So it's obviously like you can still buy robots and stuff, but you can't just import all of them into the game at once or they will all die and you just wasted all that money.
Yeah, even if you have like 1,000 robots, if you just started your base, you can't sustain them. Like you actually have to play and be pretty like established before you can throw a couple thousand robots at someone. Which I don't know.
Also,
it's kind of cool.
If you're trying to like earn money, like how are those minerals ever going to be useful? Everybody, all they ever ask for is like, I need sinks for tokens. You need use case. Like this is the use case to fucking spite, revenge people, and that's what's going to make the tokens you hold have value. So like, I don't know. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it like you can only earn the stuff in game, and I want my tokens to go up in value. Like you have to have those use cases and spend cases, and the spend cases are pay to win because like that's how it works.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do
this race. Aside from the bridge wallet, my web wallet is now the biggest holder of USDC on the Wax blockchain.
The number of land NFTs you can use in game is you can't buy. Okay, let me.
If you have a fully upgraded one, you can use 3 at once.
Let me answer one question at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is your Weekend going to be worth something in the near future? Hard to say. The only thing you can do with the land minerals outside of the game is you can buy robots to inject into the game. That's what you do with your out-of-game land minerals. Can you buy resources? You cannot buy resources with out-of-game minerals. You can buy. There's a market in-game, but the only way to buy resources in-game is by trading other in-game resources. So you have to have mined the resources to trade and buy resources. And then the number of land NFTs you can use in game is you can use 3 per base, but that's based on a in-game upgrade system. You have to buy you have to buy a building, a terraformer, and get it. Yeah. Level 1 gives you 1, level 10 gives you 2, and level 20 gives you 3. And it's expensive as shit to upgrade. So like you can't just like pop into your base and upgrade all of them to level 20. It takes hours and hours and hours and thousands of minerals. So
level 10. And if I wanted to upgrade this, it's going to be all of those minerals to go up 1 level, and the cost of each of these increases every time I level up, and the time it takes. The time it takes increases as well.
So it's not limited, but also it is limited by cost, in-game cost.
Yeah, and then I'm the KY from what you're seeing would, only multi-accounting isn't like it does benefit. I would say if you have multiple bases, is a benefit, but it's also going to require multiple like accounts of like what is that? Like I have to sign in with like my Google account to like get into that and then link it to. So you can't just like hot swap from like one to the next to the next to next without
There's
like
also
having
not
to.
like a sign out button that I
Yeah.
see. Like you can't sign out and then sign into another account. So
Yeah, you
There's
have to have a
definitely
separate
multi-countable.
device and a separate email, I guess.
it's most
Does it-
likely going to be multi-counted by people using emulators on the PC because it's easier to sign out of your accounts on emulators on PC. But also, like, there is no like, you're not earning single tokens. Like, none of the shit you're earning in game is out of game. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think the multi-count's more going to be for people like spite fighting each other than it is necessarily earning.
Yeah, agreed. And then the play to earn mechanic is really more about like playing to get to the final like 100 or be on the winning team at the end of the game, and then winning hero NFTs or like NFTs that are only accessible through getting that far in the game.
Play the marble intro. It gets loud. Turn your volumes down. Don't do what you want. But here it comes.
Let's get ready to rumble!
If you have a billion to claim, that means you do not have a billion. The max you can do is 10
You
billion.
get 10. You get 10K. Honestly,
5 million, I think, right?
yeah. I think if you want 5 million, you're already having to spend like 100 million to
Yeah.
get it up to that. So
Realistically, you can maybe claim like 1 million without losing a ton of fucking money.
I think if you have none in your actual wallet, you're gonna get up to about 10,000. Because
Yeah.
you can spend 5 million to bring your claim up to 5 million, and then you'll claim 5 million and 10,000. So you'll still be at 10,000.
Yeah, I was just kind of pissed because like they blocked, like you can't claim from your lands anymore. They stopped mining
Yeah.
minerals on the land.
Oh, how many minerals do you have locked up in there?
It wasn't too much, but
Oh, okay.
it was probably like somewhere around like 60 to 80,000 of each.
Okay, that's not terrible.
But I don't know, it's just a little frustrating. But they probably announced it, and I just
Yeah,
didn't-
they announced it's only going to be happening in game after alpha starts.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I missed that part too, and I let.
I mean, I get they would stop it, but at least let me claim what I had in there before it stopped. But then again, like I'm not that surprised given the way that.
Yeah,
But you can't claim it. I thought you could claim it still.
that wasn't. It's not letting me claim it either. Yeah, it's just.
I claimed
Well-
it literally yesterday or the day before.
Yeah,
Weird.
I should have. It wasn't working for me
maybe,
today.
maybe it's an NF Tools issue. Maybe try it directly.
Maybe, I guess that's true. I didn't try it just on our planet.
I claimed it through our planet.
Staking hub. Let's see.
I'll save my.
Yeah, let me check if that works. So to claim it on our planet, where the hell even is that?
It's in
I've
the
been doing-
alchemy tab and then the lands tab.
Alchemy. My elements. Lands. There it is. Okay. Yeah, they're all grayed out for me.
Oh, well, I guess no longer can you claim even.
No dice.
There was a in-between period after they stopped mining, though. So I claimed mine after the mining stopped.
Nice.
Yeah, it's closed beta right now. People are saying they didn't get codes. The
Weak.
close alpha works until 100 players are left. There's no like set time limit. It's just until we kill each other until there's 100 people left. And then I believe before the game is officially launched, there will be an open beta after the closed alpha. So the next round will be more people will be able to join. And then I don't know how many betas they'll do until they release like the official game, but that's sort of like the release schedule.
Oh, inadequate mass. We're talking about the land minerals. Like the
Yeah, we're
ether
talking about-
stuff's still going, but the land minerals production is not
Yeah, it seems like it can't.
outside the game. Although you can tie it to you can link your lands to your in-game base, and then it gives you a boost, like we talked about.
Oh, okay. That shit's been long gone. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I claimed mine intermittently. If I had just been ignoring them, I would have missed out on millions of minerals.
Ooh, Jeff.
Jeff, too fast. Oh no, it's juking you guys.
This,
Oh, tune.
this is brutal.
Willow bar.
There we go. I did get a. I said it at the start of the stream, but I'll just say it again now. I got a full set of the uncommon Beast and Butchers Feeling good over here. Should be getting my airdrop tomorrow. Snapshot.
Wasn't the snapshot today though?
Yeah, Snapchat's today, airdrops tomorrow.
I
If
finished
I-
a commons day yesterday.
Hell yeah.
Decided not to go to uncommon since you're bitching. You couldn't find stuff on the market. I'm like,
There's
Max
there's
can't find it.
two,
I'm not
yeah.
also.
There's two assets that like one of them was like minimum 30 wax per unit, while like everything else I bought was like 6 wax. I kind of just aided on that. I was like, fuck it, I'll pay the 30 wax because I just want this, and no one's like offering it as a trade. And then the other one that just wasn't listed, I ended up getting traded from like a few people who had like multiple dupes. When
Nice.
I saw that wallet, I was like, that's where they are. This guy's like 8.
That's how I found mine. I literally just went to the template
Hold on,
And I saw the
Alexa's
wallet.
yelling.
and then I don't know. I just know enough people. Like Inadequate Mass traded me one because I have his wallet memorized from setting marble prizes. So when I saw that wallet had one of the ones I needed, I hit him up, and then like I saw
Nice.
DevBot had some. I saw Funko Freddy or Funko Freddy Winner. I forget what his name is, but he has a shit ton. He had like 40 or something. He had like most of them, but
Jeez.
and then
I
Richie had some too.
I definitely thought about that too. Like some of the ones that have like low mint counts, like 20 or 30, that are still like cheap. If you just bought all of them, nobody could get that set bonus. You can like corner the set bonus for a certain rarity just by scooping up like 20 of the same mint of one asset.
I think I forgot to send the prizes from
But that's-
Saturday.
That's kind of a dickish move. It seemed like pretty much everybody was cool to
I'll
trade
do
and stuff.
that.
Yeah, should I swap back to my screen and do the next step in this bridging?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to pull back my screen here. Here it is. And we'll go to here. Okay, so now I'm still sitting on the same page, but now you can see here this balance is updated. And if I wanted to, I could actually, 600, I could send them back. Oh, there's a withdrawal fee of $6. So I'd have to do, what is that? $5.94. Okay, so I'd be able to send this back now by saying convert USDC to this, and you see how it's asking for the signature on the wax side this time. I'm not going to just bridge back and forth though. That's a bit of a nutty thing to try to do. Instead, I'm going to now use these USDC to create some liquidity on wax. So again, if I'm gonna refresh here on the USDC token, and you can see now I'm like the biggest holder of this currency. It's more than like any of the swaps. Like Alcor swap has less than 10 cents. You know,
How much is in the bridge? Is that like 100? Is that
1 million.
1 million?
Yeah, so they started with 1 million. It's the same for USDT. They also have 1 million, but it's way more like diverse, like spread out, I think, on the USDT side. But let's bring some USDC into the mix here. So first thing I want to do is send this token over to a hardware wallet. So I don't like having this kind of money in cloud wallets. So I'm going to start by doing that by unlocking my ledger. Okay. And then I'm going to just go over to Alcor. I'm going to click on this number just to bring this up to have my wallet name here so I can copy that in a second. And then I'm going to sign into the cloud wallet on Alcor. And by doing that, I can come over here to the wallet tab. And then here, there's my currencies. So now I'm going to click over to this one and just use the copy to copy the clipboard my name so I don't make a mistake on accident. Transfer to that wallet name I just copied and then send. So start with this. And something I think that's really conceptually what I want to do with this is drive volume to the Neon Wax pool. And since there is no liquidity for USDC on the Wax blockchain as of right now, so that here, if I refresh, by the way, I should have sent them. Yep. So I can do that by being the person to supply this liquidity. I'm going to go back
on Alcor or DeFi Box.
I'm gonna do this on DeFi Box because DeFi Box has trade routing, and that's important to me. I really like I like what TacoSwap and what Alcor have built. Honestly, probably better than what DeFiBox is doing, but without trade routing, it's incomplete. So I'm gonna stick where I feel like this is complete. I'm gonna go in here, and you can see I've built already. Let me go back to markets really quick. I built a liquidity pool here. It is like 6,000-ish wax deep, I think.
Yeah, the wax.
Yeah, here it is. Wax USDT pool. And so this pool is, consists of wax of Neon tokens and wax USDT. But there already is an on-ramp into USDT directly through wax right here, with close to the amount of depth that we have added to ours. So what I'd like to do is make the pool that goes into USDC and any crypto asset, I'd like that pool to be Neon. So let's do that. I'm gonna go back to swap, and then on the liquidity tab, I'll be able to see all of my liquidity positions. So I'm gonna start by removing the liquidity from this pool by saying remove and confirm, and signing that. Success. Done. Okay. And that, now if I go to swap, I should have USDC and USDT in this wallet. If I just type in USD, there's the USDT. Oh, and the USDC doesn't even show up yet because I haven't added it. But here, so it's 291 USDT that I'm going to use to create this liquidity pool. So now I'm going to change. We're going to go to Neon, and then we'll do USDC. It won't let me do that. Let's see. So it's ETH dot. Interesting. So it'll do DAI, and so no one has added USDT or C to this pool at all yet. And apparently adding the contract address isn't making it find this. Interesting. I wonder how I can import this without having to do that. So, oh, by the way I did that just now is clicking the Create Liquidity tab. So token name 1 is going to be Neon, and the token is tokenized NFT. Just gonna copy that. I'll say token name Neon. Contract address, tokenized NFT, and then I want to pair it with wax USDC, and it's ETH.token. So let's say confirm and create this pool. Sign with the ledger, and there we go. Now there should exist a liquidity pool, and now when I say add liquidity, I should be able to find wax USDC. There it is. So I had to import this into DeFiBox. Nobody had done that before. So now I guess that's cool. Now you got to see how that works. So now I can say add liquidity 430, and again, it won't even put up a counterpart because it doesn't know. So I'm going to do $300 to the initial liquidity pool here. We'll say
doesn't have to be equal parts.
I'm deciding what the value is right now, since there is no liquidity for Neon. And
that's funny.
So
People could arbitrage it into.
Yeah, I mean, I pulled this Neon from the initial pool, and it was paired against 291 USDT. So I'm just gonna do basically 291 and re-add it, so it's effectively the same value now.
Yeah, like if a Neon token's worth like 7 wax, I mean that's what 36. Wait, no, more than that.
Let's see. I'll add this. Success. Enter. So now exists a liquidity pool for wax Neon, and I guess I have to reload since it won't automatically update. And Neon wax USDT. So you can see here, $300 in this one on the USDC side, and 200 and something around, like some amount of Neon. That is the equivalent. So now, if anyone ever wants to trade USDC on Alcor, it would work. but it would be like this: wax into USDC. If I want to do 10 wax, I could get, almost $1 for it. And then you can see here, we're going wax into neon, so we're getting hit into the pool that I wanted to increase, and now
so
neon into USDC.
Wax neon, wax USDC. That's awesome.
Yeah. So now it'll do that automatically from any token. So if we do box into USDC, oh well, box is giving me an issue.
Yeah, token, best utility on wax.
Yeah, there you go. So, oh, okay. Maybe it won't actually do more than 2 steps because it's telling me it doesn't have liquidity, because it should.
The routing's not that deep.
Yeah, it since box into USDC should do box, wax, neon, USDC. So it's telling me there's no liquidity for this trade, but clearly when we do wax, it is doing what we want it to do. So you can do 10, like 100, you can get pretty decent like swapping going on into USDT. And what else I could do now is, for example, create a pool that holds the USDT and USDC in it in equal parts like this. Create a liquidity pool for this.
Yeah, I guess since there's more holders of wax USDT than there are USDC.
Yeah, and then this would give us the ability to.
Tether sucks.
Yeah. So now we go liquidity, add liquidity, 191, and I could just say 291.1002. Let's just do these in equal parts.
And people are definitely going to arbitrage you now.
Wouldn't that potentially take away from the trade routing from?
Yeah, that it might. Yes. So let's take a look how that works now. If we go to swap, if we're going wax into USDC, it should still hit our pool first.
There is a wax USDT pool.
Yeah, but our wax neon pool is deeper.
Yeah, wax.
So it is using the neon pool as long as the neon pool stays deeper. If instead if for example the USDT pool goes deeper, then it would do wax USDT USDC. So now I've been able to like create here. If I go to mine, it should give me a big old chunk of wax here now. Here, so now I have 6,000 wax worth of bilateral liquidity in USDT USDC, and 6,000 wax in USDC neon liquidity. So deeper than the existing liquidity pools on there. And now I've created a pool here where you can effectively hold your USD like stable coins without exposure to non-stable coins. Like if you wanted to just hold USDT, you could do so just holding it in your wallet, or you could add it to this pool, and then any trading that happens between these two assets, you'll earn the yield from as well. So it's like an interest-bearing position potentially for stable coins on wax, which just doesn't exist yet. And if I was DeFi Box, I would incentivize pools like this. That was kind of sad that they didn't. It'd be nice, especially considering now there's one on-ramp into USDC. So if I made a pool like USDC DAI, the only way to get into DAI would be through Neon. So then, the idea is that doing this kind of like trade routing will increase the amount of transactions going through the Neon liquidity pool, which is the Neon Wax pool, which is the one that we, ask people to participate in. And so it benefits the participants of that pool because it drives up the APY that they're making just for holding their tokens passively. And that APY now comes from trading activity on a market. That's a sustainable way to reward people participating in this pool, because we don't have to create value out of nothing to incentivize the pool. Like 181% is great, but like there's no way that lasts, And if it does, then it lasts because it gets diluted into the value of the token. But we'll have to see how it all plays out. Oh damn, Landbox is also still here. We go. CMW token is also still just hovering around half of a wax, still crunching out its APY, and I think I still have my position in this one. Yeah, I still own.
That's stabilized a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah,
at.
not flying high like it used to, but hey, stability is important.
Yeah, more people are entering the pool too. I'm down to 0.5%. And I didn't really pull anything out of this. I had 1 full percent not too long ago, so people are still adding more. And it looks like one person's owning a quarter of the entire liquidity right now.
Damn.
Someone's going hard. 21,000 wax, almost 22,000 wax on the wax side alone. So this is a 44,000 wax bilateral position. I feel like that's bigger than my entire liquidity wallet. Yeah, that's like much bigger. That person's going very hard. But yeah, so that kind of like was a quick overview of using the bridge, bringing the bridged assets into wax, and then once they're in wax, creating a market for them that hadn't existed before. So now if we go back to here Alcor and take a look at the USDC contract, now the biggest holder is Swapbox, and that makes it possible for other people to actually buy this token. Why is it better to use a bridge versus swapping into a token? That's going to depend on your liquidity depth. So if you have, if you wanted some of this USDC token, you could buy, $1 worth of it for 10 wax. That's close to the value of wax. So that's fine. But if you wanted more than $1 worth of it, okay, here we're taking already a 4% impact because there's just not enough liquidity. Now, if we're trying to go up to, this should be 100, close to 100, like $90-ish. Now we're taking serious losses. At this point, it makes way more sense for me to pay the fee that I spent. We looked at the fees costing us about like a little under $2. Yeah, $1.12 for the bridge protocol. So now that we can see, if I did $100 worth of wax that I already have, it's going to cost me like significantly more, and it should, if I just use the bridge. So in this case, the bridge is going to be cheaper. But for just the 10 wax, this, 90 cents or whatever, like to do $1 worth, you're better off swapping, because the deal, like you're still going to be paying the $2 in transaction fees. So you'd be at a net negative using the bridge for this small amount versus using the swap, even though the swap is giving you a price impact that might not be what you want to be paying. So that's kind of like the way you would understand what avenue to take. Do you want to use the bridge, or do you want to just swap into the bridged asset on the chain that you're currently on? And then keeping in mind that when you do own bridge assets, they are effectively IOU assets that are maintained by the issuing authority. In this case, I'm doing the bridge exists on the cloud wallet, and it's maintained by the Wax core team. So as long as they keep their security practices up, this might never ever have an issue. But if there is some type of like failure on the security front end, or even if there's a malicious action where like maybe somebody on the Wax team who has access to these wallets decides to steal from them, your assets are in that wallet now because you have bridged them into the blockchain. So keeping in mind that bridged assets give you this added layer of risk, which the risk comes from not being the custodian anymore of your native asset, and instead owning a IOU asset on the destination blockchain, which again, that IOU asset is currently Wax USDC instead of being regular USDC. And then, like I said, like Mark and I were saying at the beginning of this, USDC is issued by Circle, and Circle is like a partner of Coinbase. It's a big institution kind of like player in the space. Circle issues USDC on multiple blockchains natively. I think there's a native USDC on Binance Smart Chain. There's one on Avalanche as well. And I'm not sure which other chains there are. So there are chains where you can trade and deal in USDC, and it is not a bridged asset. But then there's other chains like Harmony, for example, like Crypto.com. Those are bridged assets, and like those, will have a honeypot or like a big wallet that's holding everybody's counterpart on the entire blockchain. And the more people that use the bridge asset within the blockchain, the deeper the value is within that one wallet, the bigger of a target that wallet becomes to be exploited. The biggest such exploit happened on the Axie Infinity Bridge, which is a blockchain game, and the bridge was holding all of its players' assets in their native chains, and they got hacked for $600 million. So, when you put that much money in one wallet, and then that wallet has not amazing security, you are risking quite a bit. Not just by, dealing with lax security, but lax security in a huge honeypot where people are absolutely interested in, breaking the encryption or trying to steal from those wallets. But yeah, that's kind of the long and short of bridges. I think bridges are a necessary part of the DeFi scene currently, but as we're moving forward in the development of this technology, I think we're going to move away from this type of bridge, because the bridge is not needed when you can perform on-chain atomic swaps, or when you can do instead of having a single wallet holding all of the assets that represent this bridge asset, you can do individual vaults where when I make my bridge transaction, those assets exist in their own wallet, and I am the only one who can undo that transaction by returning the counterpart. So there are decentralized bridge options that are being developed that aren't really that mainstream yet, but I think will replace the bridge protocols that we see today, just because bridge protocols today are the biggest source of hacks and loss in DeFi.
Yeah, it's almost always a bridge that gets hacked.
Yeah, it's the biggest source because it's the biggest single point of failure. And when it comes to decentralized technologies, the game is not having single points of failure. The whole idea of why Bitcoin is powerful is because you can't shut it down, because there isn't a place where I can go and tell them to turn off their miner and then that's it. Whereas with a bridge, there is a place on the blockchain where I can go and be that's the counterpart, get rid of that, and then that's it. All those assets that were issued with the assumption that they're backed by this pot of assets are now backed by nothing. So yeah, keep in mind, bridge assets are kind of freaky.
Man, we did a lot today.
Yeah. So, and by the way, so BUSDT is the Binance native USDT token. So that's USD Tether, but it's not USD Tether IOU coin where we can send this through a bridge and redeem it. It's USD Tether that was issued by the Tether Foundation on the Binance Smart Chain. And it can be bridged, but if you bridge it over to Ethereum or something, then you will receive a bridged version of BUSDT, not USDT.
Which is almost certainly what KY is asking, because
yes,
DeFi box is on EOS, it is not on BUS.
Yes.
Or on Binance Smart Chain. So yes.
And they have actually DeFi box has a bridge to Binance Smart Chain, and they have I think a cross-platform thing there too. So yeah, it makes sense that they use BUSDT because they're using a Binance Smart Chain native asset bridged into the EOS blockchain. So yeah,
right, let's do our next giveaway.
It can get very
Wrap
complicated.
up the tech stuff.
Yeah, we gotta land this plane, Max. We've been going.
Yeah. I feel like we covered quite a bit, and
we did. Yeah.
Now there exists USDC liquidity on Wax, so that's cool.
Or
if you
your
have,
very eyes.
Yeah, if you guys have any Neon tokens that you want to hedge into a US dollar coin token, there you go. There's a liquidity pool now, deeper than the Wax Tether pool.
Promo pack season 5 is our next giveaway for the Wombat Dungeon, which is currently happening right now.
Nice.
Still need to fix the soundboard, but it's time.
Oh man, I totally missed the
Nice.
exclamation point play if you want to join this giveaway. Speaking of it's time and the buffers, Triple G Canelo was last week, I think. That was a big boxing fight. That was a pay-per-view boxing fight. That was a big matchup, but no spoilers, but I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Okay.
I don't even know who that is.
Triple G is I think he's maybe Ukrainian. It's Eastern European boxer, and then Canelo is a Mexican boxer, but they're both I think middleweights.
Why do they call him Triple G? Does he have 3 G's in his name?
Oh, Gennady Golovkin is his name, and I think his middle name is also a G, but I don't know what his G is.
Nice get on the Neon Wombat. That one is really cool.
I think their first fight was a draw, so it was very controversial.
Oh.
So that's why they did a rematch.
And who you voting for winning?
I think the first one was a draw. The second one, I think Canelo won, and then the third one was just the one that just happened like a week or two ago. I think Triple G got into boxing kind of late. I think he started actually like legitimately professionally boxing at like the national level like in his 30s. So I think he's a little older. So Canelo probably has the edge in that regard.
Yeah.
And Canelo won pretty decisively in the second one.
Okay. Is that who you were voting for?
I would probably put my money on Canelo to win this one, but I don't know.
Oh, I see.
I like professional boxing, but it is kind of tough. Like the in the realm of sports, it's a very subjective sport as far as how if there's no knockouts, it's there's a lot of subjectivity in how it's scored, and so it's hard to take it seriously when it's so inconsistent in that way.
Oh.
Yeah, professional Muay Thai is pretty intense. Like, I don't think you see that broadcast in the States too frequently, but yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
That's like what Umbach, that movie, is about, right? Or The Protector is another one that the same
I'm
actor.
honestly not sure. I'm not familiar.
He's like a Muay Thai guy. I remember Patrick used to be way into that stuff. We'd watch it.
Oh.
He does like flying knee kicks and shit, and
Oh my
it's
God.
a pretty fun like martial arts thing. But yeah, Umbach, that's it.
I remember
remember.
Unbox too. Those
Yeah.
movies are fucking nuts.
The movie's fucking wild.
They have like
yeah.
20-minute long fight scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pat, where are they now? I'm curious. These days.
I think I don't know. Yeah, I honestly have no idea. Maybe still watching Umbach right now. Could be I don't know. The Protector was another one that was like more recent and a little bit more of like a Hollywood production than Umbach.
Ooh, I started watching the new Star Wars series, Andor.
Oh yeah, I saw the first episode and fell asleep. Was it? I was like, I don't know.
Because you were tired or because you were bored?
I was tired, but it was also not enough to keep me awake. I guess I just don't know any of the characters, and it was just kind of like nothing happened.
Yeah, that's true. It is kind of funny because it's like he's like a character in like a prequel like side plot, and then they decided to take that character, take a few lines from that side plot movie, and then make a whole show about it. I'm not as deep into the Star Wars lore to know if he was that prominent in like the book canon, but yeah, it's interesting to me. I thought it was intriguing, and but it's certainly not like super action packed right away, but it's entertaining and it's a fun kind of extension of the Star Wars universe. I was entertained.
Yeah, all right. Oh, nice.
But it might not be very approachable to not deep Star Wars people.
Nice. Yeah, I think we did that once on stream too. What Monosuerte is saying, like how to use blocks to actually like withdraw liquidity and do trade and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, or like directly interact with smart contracts right from blocks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the third, you gotta keep going till the third episode apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
Tiny Jaws in America.
Dude, I'm deep in Star Wars galaxies, dude.
Yeah, I see you playing for like hours every night.
Dude, way deep.
I posted announcements, but I think it'd be cool if one of our like a new segment we do on stream is like movie reviews. But like the previous week, we tell everybody what we're gonna watch. So we're like, hey, pick a movie on Amazon or Netflix because most people have those streaming services, and be like, we're gonna watch this movie, and then we're gonna spoil the fuck out of it. So if you want to like come join us in the reviews, like a book club, but for watching movies where we can talk about the plot.
Kind of thing. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Particularly since you guys have worked in Hollywood, and so you guys have like an understanding of like production and stuff too, and you've been very close to the movie industry, both of you, in your different forms.
Yeah, I've also just been on a movie kick. I've been trying to watch like a couple movies a week, and I also like watching weirder movies, and I always want to talk to about people afterwards. Like I just watched think it's called The Black Bear. That movie's weird as fuck, but like I don't know. I went on Reddit. There's a couple Reddit discussions about it, but it's like I want to talk to some real people about this movie and see what they thought.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the platform's a good one too. Like, there's a lot of social commentary there, and if you're not watching it with someone, you don't really have anyone to like bounce all your, your thoughts about it. Just kind of move on to the next movie and just let your opinions die out.
I want to bounce my thoughts about fucking the Rings of Power show. I was talking.
Oh man, don't spoil it for me. I'm not caught up.
I feel like we shouldn't be choosing brand new things that people haven't had a chance to watch it. Like we should be choosing movies that are at least a couple of years old.
I have a lot of opinions about like nerdy stuff like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and like Marvel movies. More like, socially thought-provoking ones.
Yeah.
Go as deep in, but if we pick one, I'm into trying it out because I don't know. I'm not good at picking movies, so
we should do The Cube. If that's let me see if that's streaming anywhere.
The Cube?
Yeah.
I'm not a big horror movie person personally, but
I like
Cube's
horror
not
movies.
horror, it's like sci-fi.
Okay, then you have my curiosity.
It's on Amazon Prime. By Jim Henson.
Nice.
I think that's right.
Oh yeah, I started watching the first episode of MacGruber yesterday. It's pretty good.
Yeah, does it check the box for you?
It's very MacGruber. The first episode was pretty fun.
No, The Cube is not available for streaming. Lame. What about Battle Royale?
Oh man, I remember
that
that show or that movie. We watched that way back in the day.
It's on Freevee.
Oh,
I don't know.
Freevee.
We'll do this not on stream. We'll find a movie that is streaming that's worth watching.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a cool idea. I like that.
Because I like talking to you when we did the platform, and I was like, yeah, this would be cool if we just turned it into a regular segment, and then could also let the community beforehand.
The platform like years ago, so like it's something that's more fresh in my mind. I could actually have some good discussion on it.
So hit us up in Discord if anybody wants to suggest a cool, weird movie for us to watch that we can talk about.
Yeah.
I'm also down to watch more mainstream stuff, but I do think it's more fun to talk about movies that were just like, what the fuck was that, than like, I don't know, like Rush Hour. It's like, yeah, I think we all know what's going down in Rush Hour.
Yeah, even bad ones are fun. Like if you ever watch like Mystery Science Theater 3000, I'm always a big fan of that.
Have you ever seen what is that fucking weird ass movie called The Holy Mountain?
No, I haven't seen that.
Excellent.
All right, let's do this last giveaway before we get too off the rails. Rubber, isn't that the one about the tire? I would watch the fuck out of Rubber.
Balance,
if that's
man.
that movie. I
What,
haven't seen it.
The Greasy
That's
Strangler?
exactly what I'm looking
Tire?
for.
Yeah,
It's
the
like the entire movie is like
killing people.
following a tire.
Dude,
It's
you know
like-
what is a hallmark of cinema though? Swiss Army Man. That one I would love to watch and discuss with you.
That's a
love
very
I
good
haven't
one.
seen that one. I would watch that one for a watch party.
Yeah,
Dude, that was a total Oscar snub for Daniel Radcliffe.
yeah. Let me think. What was the other one I was thinking just now?
It's time.
The Greasy Strangler.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, we
Are
should,
you,
dude.
are
We
you
should watch
saying I'm the Greasy Strangler?
Did you see the second movie he made?
I don't think so. What was that? What
one's
was
on
that one?
Netflix. That'd be a good one. Let me see. That might be the perfect one for our like first one. Greasy Strangler. Yeah, that director made a second movie. I like both those movies.
Is it
Jim
Message
Austin.
Message from Space?
Strange.
No, it's An Evening with Beverly Loughlin.
Oh, Greasy Strangler is just—it's a funny one.
It's starring Aubrey Plaza, who's from Parks and Rec. She plays.
Oh, it has
uh,
Elijah
Yeah,
Wood.
she's April.
yeah, and then it also has Jermaine Clement in it
Oh shit.
from Flight of the Conchords.
It's pretty funny. I just love the guy is just like, oh, what are you saying? I'm the Greasy Strangler. He just says it like all the time. Like whenever anyone mentions the Greasy Strangler, he's like, what are you saying that I'm the Greasy Strangler?
Is that one on Netflix? Because I'd watch that one too.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a while since I saw that one.
I'll check if both those. I know the second one was on Netflix because I remember when that came out. It was like from the Greasy Strangler. It's like, what the fuck? This guy made another movie. But because people like the Greasy Strangler so much, he was able to hire like bigger stars. It also has Craig Robinson, who is from The Office.
Dude, you know what's a really good one is The Lobster. I don't know if anyone's watched The Lobster.
Yeah.
On,
Wait, The Lobster?
Is that the one where they're like trying to become animals to like reach Nirvana or some shit?
They're like it's like a weird thing where like if you don't you go to this special place, and if you're single and you try to find a match, and then if you don't, they turn you into an animal. But it's like really like the dialogue's really good. It's like just the right amount of awkward in an interesting way, and Colin Farrell's excellent in it. And so it's a bunch of like awkward people trying to find their match, but also they're just kind of fearful to get turned into an animal, but it's kind of ambiguous how or why they do it.
That's another one that I've seen that one on
weird.
Hulu, I think, but definitely down to watch something like
Colin
that.
Farrell like parrots around his dog, but it's like his brother, so it's like super weird.
Oh, hey, we just watched this one too, Jeff. I was on Netflix.
That one sounds good.
I saw that in
top 10
theaters.
movie on Netflix right now.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters too. I like that one too. Yeah, it's fun. It's a little up its own ass, but it's supposed to be, so it's fun.
Yeah, guys, let's watch Paw Patrol 8 and do a review.
What was it called? Oogie Loves. That was a movie. A friend brought that over on DVD, and we watched it.
Is that like a G movie?
It's like a rated G children's movie. It's just it's like the worst performing box office opening movie of all time. And it was like a weird like political thing where like Disney was the distributor for it, and they put it into theaters that year so that it would do worse than John Carter of Mars, so that you couldn't have a headline saying that a Disney movie was the worst grossing movie like of the year. So Disney, the distributor, aired literally like a national release in theaters of a movie called Oogie Loves, which is
what is that word you're saying? I can't even understand that.
It's like Oogie Loves. It's one word.
O-G-I-E?
Yeah, something like that.
A name of someone.
Yeah, it's like Teletubbies, but they're Oogie Loves. And then I don't know. There's like famous people in it, and it's just really funny. Like this one, I forget who the actor is, but he plays like a cowboy kind of like child's character. It's just ridiculous. It's really like it's not good. It's definitely made for kids. There's no value in it as an adult to watch it, but yeah, my friend was just like, we gotta watch
movies. It's Pixar. Get the fuck out. Like, I will watch Pixar movies and talk about those, but I'm not trying to sit through a bunch of shitty kids movies.
You're not trying to sit through the Teletubbies 3.
I like weird like indie films because even if they're bad, they're like interesting. But like bad children films is just gonna be like fucking nonsense to watch because it's not like thought provoking.
Yeah, The Room is a pretty good bad movie.
Even that one's hard for me to watch.
Oh, that's the What's in the Box mark, right?
Yeah, that's oh hi Mock.
Oh yeah.
It's also like it's hard to watch for the like when you first put it on because it starts with like 3 back-to-back sex scenes that just are unmotivated and like unnecessary. But it's still
it's like the movie they make in Always Sunny.
Yeah, pretty
like
much.
Gratuitous sex scene with Frank.
But it's like 3 of those back to back. By the third one, you're just like, what the fuck are we watching? And then it like doesn't get better, but it's still
and then it continues to be bad, but without
continues to be bad, but without sex scenes, and it's really ridiculous. It just has these like it has like a cult following at this point. I think they even made like a Hollywood version of the making of it with the Disaster Artist with James Franco. That was also fun. James Franco does a good job acting like Tommy Wiseau.
I watched this video. I don't know why I've been following this guy, Drew Gordon. He makes really random fucking videos, but he found this as like one of the most ridiculous movies he ever saw, and he did a review on it. But I'll play the trailer. It's fucking pretty absurd. It's about a like father that needs to like win a breakdancing competition to save his daughter from like he doesn't have enough money for some surgery. But here, let's see what the trailer says.
Not only love to
Holy
work
shit, the audio is horrible on this.
for this country, I love to work for this family.
You've been yanked, sir. What? Fired, sir.
I can't watch this trailer. The audio is too bad. It's a bad movie. If you want to learn about it, watch Drew Gooden's video on it. He reviews like the entire movie. It's pretty fucking funny. Here, let's see if I can get the trailer for An Evening with Beverly Luff. That's one I think is actually a good one for our watch party. If it's still on Netflix, I'll have to check. It's from 2018. People have had years to watch it, so I feel like we're not spoiling something brand new.
Welcome to An Evening with Beverly Loughlin.
There's an event tomorrow night at the hotel.
An event?
Remember the man in the plaid hat?
Mr. Beverly. Beverly's a woman's name.
No.
It is a Scottish woman's name.
I don't know what this event is, but Lulu's gone missing.
Can anybody hear me? I'm trapped under the ice. Who is Beverly Loughlin?
Let's do this.
Are you trying to rob me, mate? Run, go!
Although I don't know quite what's going on, I'm having a great time, Lulu. And you nailed it with these cheesy onion rings.
I need you to protect me, okay?
Yes, I can do that.
Good. The mystery of Colin is deepening.
Go deeper, if you dare.
Good luck, everyone.
I think you're the most beautiful woman I have ever met.
Every girl needs a Colin.
Am I looking forward to the event?
It will be magical.
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 One of those jets is shooting water up the back of my shorts. It's quite a delicious feeling.
Yeah, it's super weird, but maybe that'll be our first. I just got to confirm it's still on Netflix, but I watched that on Netflix a few years ago.
Yeah, I do like Jermaine's character in Legion. He does a really good job in that one.
Yeah, that show's nuts.
Yeah, that show's a real mindfuck.
Black Bear is also a pretty cool movie. It's super fucking weird, but that one has Aubrey Plaza too. All right, let's play ourselves out with some Carlos Matos EDM. Somebody suggested, I think Toon suggested it earlier. Haven't done this one in a while. But
It's a
probably right
scam.
into NFT Gamer TV. But again, hit us up in Discord if you want to keep chilling later today. We got a super blend coming this Saturday. We'll do the Neon Spice Naked blend. So we haven't done the Naked for that one yet. There's no interview booked for this Thursday, so we'll just kind of have a chill day on Thursday. Maybe we'll go more into our movie trailers and confirm what movie we're going to do that on Thursday. But it'd be cool if we could just watch a movie together, but I'm pretty sure that's not legal.
We could do it in Discord.
Yeah, that's true. We could
Yeah.
try to broadcast the movie in Discord.
Yeah, I was able to finagle it with Hulu for It's Always Sunny that one time, but that took a little tinkering. But I think on other platforms it should be all right.
We
It's like
also
when-
watched that Paul show.
Paul's, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Luke can do it since he has the dedicated internet connection, so it's not laggy.
Yeah, I'll see if we can figure that out. So maybe, yeah, if you don't have access to the streaming platform that we pick the movie to watch it on, we will have like a public viewing time in our Discord. That's a good idea.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Plex Party too. Always good.
Are there any good movies on Plex?
It's like anything. It's like a file sharing.
Yeah, it's like a cloud
Plex was
file
like one of
sharing,
those, like,
but that would imply
weird-
you would have to pirate it, which we don't do.
Yeah, it's like a platform that you can use to navigate your own library, and then you can link it to like a web repository, and then just go
Flex
off.
is
of
short for penis flex. All right.
Nice.
So we'll catch you all tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Wax Wednesday?
Sure
Tomorrow's
is.
Wednesday, yeah.
Tomorrow's Wax Wednesday. Max and I signed up for the Blockchain Brawlers tournament. That starts at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh,
So
that'd
we
be
should
go.
still be streaming. We can stream some of the tournament. Also, it's open to sign up if anybody wants to do open beta. Anybody can sign up for the open beta, and anybody can sign up for the tournament. And also, we see Starcadia in here. We'll be doing some Starcadia giveaways tomorrow as well, and I will be playing some Starcadia. And then, yeah, the NFTs we have to give away are like, there's a free claim, but you have to have an NFT from their collection. So we'll be giving away some NFTs so that you can claim and play yourself. Tomorrow's Wednesday, my dudes. I swear I know what day it is.
Yeah, my sense of time's all screwed up.
Let's see. Oh, and if you want to sign up for the tournament in the beta, it's in the announcements in the Blockchain Brawlers Discord.
I think it's in like the beta announcements, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, beta announcements.
Yeah, they also said if you email them, like they're still sending codes out. So if you don't have a code for the open beta for Blockchain Brawler, you can still get it. Yeah, we'll see y'all tomorrow for that. Or hit me up in Discord if you want to hang after this. But have a good day, everybody.
Hey, everybody. My name is Carlos Matos, and I am coming from New York City, New York. Let me tell you guys that I am so excited. I am so happy. I am really so thrilled to be right now sharing this amazing, glorious, super, and exciting moment of my life with all of you guys. And let me tell you that we are really changing the world as we know it. The world is not anymore the way it used to be. No. Be
So what's his NFT collection?
We are coming, and we are coming in waves. We are starting, and we are going to actually go all over the world. My wife still doesn't believe in me. What am I gonna do? We are coming in waves. What? Hey, hey. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone from around the world. This is Carlos Matos broadcasting live directly from the Bronx, New York, USA. What's up?
Peace out, everybody. We're going into NFT Gamer TV for Taco Tuesday. Have fun. See you later.